Hello. I cut my hair like 2 days ago, and then only just now you people say nice haircut. Kind of weird. Have you noticed your face muscles growing the last 2 months? No. Man, Canada's becoming gay. Fuck me, we're going so gay.
Me got some Hutchinson, Jordan Hutchinson Olympia t-shirts. We're in Las Vegas. We're ready for it. Inside, you guys got to check out. Gonna get into some. Whipping down a meal real quick. We got peanut butter cookie bowl gains.
Do you think feminism is to blame for the gaining of society? Well, it's not really feminism specifically, it's basically a communist psyop. And it's interwoven into feminism.
100 grams of that. We got 25 grams of peanut butter, 75 grams of banana, and chocolate peanut butter shake from Core, 50 grams of protein. I just have to say, I talk about my team and those around me, but this is, here, I'll hold this for you. This is my biggest teammate right here. I'm so proud of her. She does this with me every day. She eats her own meal prep plan every day, supports me with what we do, and she's my biggest supporter. She encourages me, but she also tells me where I can be better. She helps me. I couldn't ask for a better partner to help me prep for the shows that I do.
And I'm sizing him up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna do martial arts again in the future. Yeah, I take a multivitamin supplement. I also supplement with zinc and selenium. Have you gotten blood work recently? Well, I got it done, what was it? Yeah, near the end of September. Everything was fine. I'm gonna get blood work done at the end of this month.
My massage therapist, Jamie, is coming up to the room right now. It's always back-to-back stuff, but gonna wolf this meal down, get on the table, work on some things, get loosened up.
Chris donated $2.75. Thank you, Chris. Appreciate the donation. Can you check out Face IQ Diet? I've already seen what he eats. He eats like shit. Just a retard. It's basically a dumbass who, you know, the whole natural fucking caveman thing, sort of like Sfarage.
And it's almost the end of day one in Vegas. It's been a good one. New Tech Gym was amazing. Definitely recommend going if you guys are in Vegas. And just soak it all in. You at New Tech Gym, about to train some back. Chris is training legs,
I'm training
right?
legs.
It's a great gym to train legs at. Britt's gonna train some back with me if we can agree on some movements. We'll see. We kind of like different things, but excited to be back here for day two. We loved it yesterday. Trained some.
The apprehension that I have with debating Face IQ is the guy's basically a flat earther. So, like, when your opponent refuses to accept very obvious, basic, provable, descriptive facts, like, what's the fucking point, right? Like, how many times over and over and over again do I have to fucking say, like, no, this is what the study says. No, everything you're saying about the study's wrong. No, this fucking thing you're showing me is irrelevant. No, this does establish causal, inference. Like, it's... So, if I were to debate him on diet, like, I'd rather just skip over all the, shit on research, because he doesn't fucking care. Like, he literally does not care about any scientific evidence whatsoever. If he did, he wouldn't be eating the diet he does. It's all like some emotional, ideological, gay fucking bitch thing for him. He thinks like a woman, where rather than basing anything off of any kind of, evidence or facts, it's just how he feels. So I'd rather just like call him a fucking beta male fucking bitch loser the entire time and just be like, okay, cool, if your diet's so great, why are you like this out of shape fucking twink bitch who can't even lift? And then every fucking vegan is bigger and stronger and has more energy and like is better than you. Like I'm pretty much done debating nutrition at this point. It's like if it were 10 or 15 years ago, like things might have been, different, but there's so much new research out now. It's like you have to have the standpoint that meat is bad for you, especially when you're talking about, red meat, or any animal products that are high in saturated fat. Like, it's just over. So if you're still having those arguments with people, it's like debating flat earth. Like, what's the point? You're just a fucking retard. Other than that, like, I guess I could debate him on ethics. I don't know if he really cares to do that, but again, what's he gonna fucking say? Like, oh yeah, like it's basically an hour of getting somebody to admit they're fine with killing mentally disabled people. So,
Chest and shoulders. And it's just such good equipment, a good mix of new tech plus some old school rare pieces. Me and Britt really enjoyed some of the pieces, so we're gonna head inside, get the job done. Then I got a massage after, so on a little bit of a time schedule, but we're just gonna enjoy every minute. It's been awesome here in Vegas. Really excited to have you guys along for the ride. Thank you so much for watching. We're gonna go get started. So what we're going to start with, if we can get on it, is definitely busier today than it was yesterday. to be expected. But we're going to do a single arm lat pull down of some sort. Not going to be too picky today with all the people here. But
Is Paul Saladino more redeemable now that he's eating fruit? No. The only reason he started eating fruit was because he's one of the few people who will just admit publicly that, you know, the carnivore diet is just so bad for you. And it was affecting him personally so much that he just had to admit, okay, like a natural human diet includes carbohydrates. You'll also notice he's also one of the few carnivore diet advocates who does like any exercise at all. Every other one of them, like, they don't train or exercise or do anything. And like Sean Baker, it's pretty clear he doesn't actually eat the carnivore diet. And he might also be taking anabolic steroids, and he's just not admitting it. He was severely hypogonadal when he got his blood work, and as far as I know, he never got any follow-up blood work showing that his testosterone levels recovered. So that is kind of fishy to me, because he also lost a massive amount of weight at one point. So he made himself go hypogonadal, lost a ton of weight, and then suddenly just ballooned back up in weight. And then got like back to being, you know, decently strong. So yeah, Sean Baker, he's kind of somebody you can dismiss, but yeah, Paul's basically like the only carnivore diet guy who's natural and exercises. Even Liver King, like, he was on a fuck ton of fucking gear. And he was still eating carbohydrates. Like, so yeah, like, I mean, the only reason Paul started promoting carbs is just because I think he has a personal interest in having people be successful on whatever diet he is eating so that he can sell them supplements and bullshit and they'll take him seriously. So he figured if he's feeling like absolute shit and then he's promoting this diet and then people follow that diet, they're not going to take him seriously. Yeah, Revival Fitness is another fucking dumbass. He doesn't really follow the carnivore diet. He eats a massive amount of dairy, so that's how he's getting his carbohydrates in. Matthew...
The CPC is going to hold a leadership review in January 2026 where party delegates will vote on whether to retain Poilievre as leader or to hold a contest to elect another leader. Do you think they should keep him on or give him the boot?
I'm honestly not sure. I actually like Polyev. I think he'd be a good leader. It's just, I don't know what his popularity is like throughout Canada at this point, because it's just strange. Right after Trump got elected, he kind of fell out of favor. And the Conservative Party, for no fucking reason whatsoever, was being treated like national traitors. So I don't know. I'd like to see the Conservative Party succeed and get elected. So whatever would help fulfill that goal. Thanks for the donation, Husker. Matthew, Donatiller, Strange House Farage is completely unaware he's a psychopath. I think he's very much aware. He just won't admit it. Thanks for the donation, dude. RFK Jr. donators, young children who get circumcised are twice as likely to get autism. Well, I only got circumcised as an adult, so maybe that kind of protected me. Thanks for the donation, RFK Jr.
Greta Thunberg is claiming Israel tortured her.
Did they not give her a sandwich she liked? They gave me a sandwich and it was very dry. It did not have enough mayonnaise.
Precis släppt från ett israeliskt tortyrfängelse i öken.
I just got released from an Israeli torture prison in the desert, and honestly, I don't really know what to say because no matter what we say, nothing is going to bite. Nothing is going to lead to action from our governments.
Finns det inget som biter? Det finns ingenting som leder till handling.
Even though under international law, they have a legal obligation to act to prevent and stop genocide.
Rättslig skyldighet att agera.
Didn't they literally just come to a ceasefire agreement with Hamas?
För att förhindra och stoppa folkmord. Det som hände var inte bara att Israel kidnappade oss och torterade oss.
What happened was not only that Israel kidnapped us and tortured us, but that above all, during an ongoing escalating genocide, in which Israel is openly trying to erase the entire Gaza Strip and the Palestinian people.
Och det palestinska folket, den palestinska nationen.
The Palestinian nation. Israel once again violated international law and prevented humanitarian aid, medicine, food, and water from reaching a starving population.
Från att komma in till
So
en
then,
svältande
how did
befolkning.
it get there then? What a lying, just nasty fucking bitch. Thanks for the donation, Dodo. Yeah, she doesn't look very tortured. I guess Jews are just really bad at torturing people in their torture prisons. I gotta teach them a thing or two. Maybe they should start working with North Korea. They know how to do it right. Gum gum. You are such a big silly kitty. Oh my god, look at your big cat head. You know I love you. Let's see. Dodo donated $2.
Force, look at it go. Nice and smooth. There we are. Now we give it a little run, see if it smiles back. It's not slop if it works, my friends. Just happy little lines that do their job. That's better. Just let the assistant fill in.
That's funny.
Was that would not be taking place.
Dude.
No, not that. The guarantee was that would not be taking place.
Oh my god.
The House is suspended.
You know, I'm sure when the British, started colonizing Africa, and they took over what's now Zimbabwe, and South Africa. Like all the shit you hear about them being racist, for not letting black people vote or run for office. It's probably because of like some shit like this. Like I'm sure there was some racism involved, but there's also probably stuff like this. Like, oh my god, it's fucking 2025. What the fuck are you people doing? Like, are you kidding me? I just don't... Do you live in fucking straw huts anymore? Do you fucking kill and eat your enemies, like, after they're vanquished? Like, it's just so stupid. What is this fucking retarded shit?
There's 2 studies that show children who are circumcised early have double the rate of autism.
Oh my god, he actually said that. I thought you were just fucking with me.
And it's highly likely because they're given Tylenol. So, none of
Oh my god.
this is positive, but all of it is stuff.
Like, by the way, they do not give circumcised children Tylenol.
We should be paying attention to. There's
What in the fuck? That is just outrageously retarded.
There's
Out of this world fucking retarded.
studies that show the countries that use the most have the highest level of autism. Cuba has the highest, the lowest level in the world of acetaminophen use, and it has the lowest autism rate in the world. So this is not dispositive. It is not proof. We're doing the studies to make the proof. But in some studies that show the countries.
He admitted there's no proof. Then why say this? This game makes Battletoads look easy.
Oh, I'm dead as hell, brother. Oh my god, I'm alive. Where am I going? I need a compass. I need a map.
Ooh. Like insanity. Yes, that's exactly the maze I would have done.
No! Oh god. I should have went up.
What the?
What just happened?
Yeah, that looks like AIDS. I'd get dizzy playing that. Thanks for the donation, Dodo. Dodo donated $2.
This is a realistic what I ate in a day as a vegan when I'm working from home. I was really busy as usual, but I tried to prioritize home-cooked meals. For breakfast, I had this strawberry macadamia granola from Dearborn. I've been obsessed with it ever since my friend introduced it to me. I had it with soy yogurt and dark chocolate shavings. For lunch, I had some ingredients to use up, so I made this spicy chili mushroom mince with a few simple ingredients like chili oil, soy sauce. Then I made this quick 5-minute tofu ricotta, the recipe's in the caption, which I then piped on crispy toasted sourdough. Then I topped the toast with sauteed mushrooms, spring onions. This was a super delicious high-protein lunch. For dinner, I had a little more time to spare, so I prepped some veggies I had like bok choy and king oyster mushrooms. Then I cut up some tofu puffs. I then stir-fried the veggies, tofu puffs, vegan sausages, and added a spoonful of vegan mala paste. Boiled some air-dried ramen noodles, then added that in, tossed everything together with soy sauce, and garnished with my homemade chili oil and spring onions. Easy mala siangguo at home, but if you want to make this from scratch, I have a recipe on my blog.
Okay. Once upon a time, the British offered bounty for killing cobras, hoping to reduce the population of the snake. Indian snake catchers began to breed cobra and kill for bounty. Uttar Pradesh to reward 25,000 to citizens helping accident victims reach hospital within the golden hour. Yeah, people are gonna obviously commit scams. I was about to condemn Hamas, but then I saw the Israeli hostages kissing them goodbye. One hostage even ended up converting from Judaism to Islam. Oh my God. Like...
Hello, everyone. It's President Donald J. Trump, and it's Trump time. Check out this red beauty. It's one of my new watches. Wear it proudly on your wrist, and everyone will know exactly what it's for, who it represents. It's really going to be something special. It's for your favorite president. Get your watch today at gettrumpwatches.com. These make a great gift. It's Trump time.
Just everything is so unprecedented, fucking bizarre, makes no sense. That is fucking
Someone
weird.
give this man a contract.
Fucking hate Daily Dose of Internet. That guy's a faggot.
Brazilian influencers with millions of followers advertising a sketchy job opportunity in Russia for women between 18 and 22 years old. Some Brazilian influencers have been promoting the Alabuga Start program as a unique opportunity to work in hospitality, food service, or...
Whoa, are they... So they're targeting Brazilian women to build drones. I can guarantee you they're going to get sex trafficked once they're in Russia.
or logistics in Russia, touting perks like a salary in dollars as well as free flights and housing. However, several participants said they were forced to work in military drone factories after arriving in Russia. Located in Tatarstan, the Alabuga Special Economic Zone, SEZ, is central to Russia's war economy, producing thousands of attack and reconnaissance drones for the military. Workers reported long hours, strict surveillance, health problems from chemical exposure, harassment, racism, and a lack of freedom. Although presented as a private enterprise, the SEZ has close links to the Russian state. The Ministry of Defense funds it and is the main customer for the drones. Some of the Brazilian influencers promoting the program silently deleted their posts when other influencers started to point out the issue. Others had their videos removed from the platforms they post on, and some issued apologies. Some even attached the documents that their PR agents...
Well, dude, what's funny too is like these fucking promoters, they're in Russia, so why in the fuck wouldn't these people just take the money and then do nothing? Like, if some fucking Russian foreign agent offered me money to, like, make a bunch of social media posts, I'd be like, oh, yeah, sure, I'll do that. And then I'll just deposit it in my bank and tell them to go fuck themselves. Like, what are they gonna do?
Agencies allegedly received from the program to explain that everything was double-checked and looked legit, but all the documents were in Russian. The program's website, which doesn't list a business tax ID in Brazil or a Brazilian contact phone number, remains active.
These people are fucking stupid. Like, influencers are the biggest fucking degenerates on the planet. Thanks, Dodo.
It's just a shame Greta did not die on her trip and go straight to hell where she belongs.
Yeah, it is. It is a shame. Thanks for the donation, Dodo. Can't Be AI donated $2.
Ooh. Holy shit. You guys are so hot. Let's mouth.
What? No. What are you doing? You can't just, it freaks me out.
It's mating season.
No thanks.
Not at all? You
No.
never want to taste?
No.
Everyone calm down. Just like chill out a little. It got really weird. I don't like that.
Right.
Yeah.
So what are we doing? Jamie, lock the door.
What? Whoa! That seems a little threatening.
I'm gonna call the cops.
There's no signal.
But the
Fucking moron. What are you doing? Have you ever seen what it looks like when you get strangled to death?
This is fucked up.
This is nuts.
You're both getting strangled to death.
Oh my gosh! That's fucked up!
We gotta try and escape.
Yeah, we gotta get out of here.
You can't get away. You're gonna die.
I'm going.
Where are you going? Congratulations, you win. Fun times. Tell everybody how to get your podcast, where you are on social.
That's good. Thanks for the donation, dude.
Thank God I don't live in New Zealand.
Yeah, it seems like a pretty silly place. And they're run by a bunch of, like, weird, dumb, gay-ass women who banned fucking guns after that mass shooting. They're so fucking stupid. Like, society is so fucking gay and cucked. I fucking can't stand anybody. Thanks for the donation, Dodo.
RFK is such a lunatic.
Yeah, he is. Fucking nuts, dude. Thanks for the donation, Dodo.
Why do you think people are so retarded these days? Also, do you think people today are dumber than people 30 or 40 years ago?
They very likely are. So, literacy rates are going down. Computer competency is going down. Technical competency is going down. And it's probably due to a combination of things. Like, computers have just become way easier to use, so the kind of critical thinking skills that you'd need to develop to use a computer are kind of going away. Same with, like, you know, everyone used to work on their car to some extent and have, like, some basic hand tools at the very least in their house. Now everybody just offloads this kind of work to somebody else. So, yeah, people are just thinking less and using their brains less, and it's just making them fucking stupid. And then on top of that, you have, like, brain rot horseshit like fucking TikTok. And, like, I think the idiocracy thing, like, there's a level of truth to it. You know, dumbasses just had far more opportunities to either kill themselves or become infertile or something. Right? So, like, if you used to eat like shit, get fat, do drugs, you know, you'd make yourself impotent and not be able to breed. But now they have, like, Viagra and shit, and now, oh, I'm a fucking dumbass who can't control myself and live a healthy lifestyle, and I can't get my dick up anymore and then breed, but now we have Viagra, so those, like, dumb fucks can breed now. And there's, like, fertility clinics, there's, like, drugs like HCG that will bring up your sperm count. Like, I've seen some ridiculously fat, morbidly obese fucking women who are just so fucking stupid. There is a relationship between obesity and stupidity. People with lower IQ are much more likely to be obese. I've seen some, like, enormous fat fuck women end up successfully having children just because of modern fertility technology. Like, and when you talk to these women, like, okay, have you tried to lose weight? Yeah, I've been, like, on a diet where I only, like, eat an entire case of Coca-Cola. I only have about 4 liters of cola per day now. And I eat fish and chips rather than McDonald's. And then you ask them, like, okay, why don't you drink Diet Coke instead rather than, like, drink normal Coke? And, like, you know, fish and chips is, like, really unhealthy and fatty fried food. And then they're like, but I heard Diet Coke causes cancer and it actually makes you more fat than regular Coke. And no, fish and chips is health food. Like, you know, they're fucking retarded. And then these fucktards are having kids. So like there's probably a combination of factors going on. There's actually a really interesting article written by, I think he was a biologist or a biological anthropologist or something. He noted that in early tribal societies, there wasn't very many specialized jobs. So, like, everyone was very self-reliant, and they basically had to learn how to do everything. And because you need to learn how to do everything, like make your own tools, you had to know how to hunt, prepare your food, make shelters. You had to know how to fight. You're working your brain in so many ways, and it promotes like a lot of general intelligence. And like, if you're dumb, like, you're just gonna fucking die, and then you're not gonna be able to reproduce. Because over time you're seeing more and more specialized careers, people are able to get by being fucking stupid, but they're able to do like some retarded, dumbass, menial task for hours and hours and hours on end each day and get by and make a living. And we have all these other societal controls to control the fucking retards. Like, why do you think there's firearms laws? It's not because firearms are inherently dangerous. It's because there's a lot of fucking stupid people. Same with, like, you know, laws, you know, with driving. Cars aren't inherently dangerous. It's just there's a lot of fucking stupid people. Like, why is the speed limit on the highway 100 kilometers an hour? You can safely drive, like, you know, 150, 200 kilometers an hour on the highway. The only reason that fucking regulation exists is because stupid people will get some, like, fucking piece of shit fucking car where the steering alignment's off, they don't fucking get their brakes checked, and, like, they'll end up going way faster than the car is really able to, you know, safely manage, and in a dangerous circumstance, like, they just end up going too fast because they have no critical thinking skills, and then they'll kill themselves or somebody else. So, like, all these laws and regulations you see, it's not because, like, any of these things are inherently dangerous. It's because there's fucking retards everywhere. Like, rules are for fools. The reason there's rules is because there's so many fucking idiots that you need to prevent from either hurting themselves or hurting somebody else. Because, like, only fucktards will do this shit. So I'm pretty sure people are actually getting dumber, and yeah, it's just due to a combination of factors. Thanks for the donation, though, Blackberry.
Lol VG, if you had to pick one for the rest of your life, would you rather live in the UK or Australia?
Fuck. It's easier to get steroids in the UK. But, they have more, like, Muslim invasion, and you're probably going to be more broke and poor in the long run. So, guess I'd have to go with Australia. Thanks for the donation, Vegan Giga Chad. I guess it's easier to become a big famous celebrity if you're from Australia, too.
And to think we all thought we were headed to a golden age of society in the 2010s under the Obama administration.
No, retards fucked it up. Yeah, retards fucked everything up. Thanks for the donation, though, Dodo.
Do a single arm lat pull down, then some kind of single arm row. Then we'll do an upper back row. Then I really love the circular row. There's two of them actually, so we'll be able to get on one of them just for like a mid back pull down. We'll do another upper back row and then work into some rear delts and some biceps. Just pump a little bit. Probably not do too many biceps because tomorrow I'm just going to do my last workout, shoulders and arms, just a pump. So today's going to be back focused. Thing about these new tech pieces is they have so many adjustments. So you can adjust this forward and back, then the angle, those handles. So what I like is something that's going to stretch my lats this way, kind of supinate a little bit. So I'm trying to get that kind of feel. That actually feels pretty good.
Well, Greg's obviously not going to make a video response back to me. I'm planning on making a video going over like why I hopped on steroids, what I'm taking, and for what reason, and side effects and all that. He might like do a reaction to that video, but he's never actually going to make a direct response to me.
Yeah, it feels really good.
I debated a non-vegan. He gave me the hypothetical of a vegan owing a meat-eating slave as a gotcha. Vegans can't own slaves anyway. Vegan owning a meat-eating slave. What? I don't understand what point he's trying to make. Like, for one thing, yeah, vegans can't own slaves because the whole idea of veganism is to extend human rights to animals. So, by definition, if you're vegan, you're in favor of human rights and you wouldn't be pro-slavery. So you wouldn't own slaves as a vegan. So this is like saying, what if you're a vegan and you rape children? It's like, well, I don't think anybody would consider you vegan if you rape kids. Like, it's just fucking stupid.
Good. You kind of got to lean back, otherwise you're going to be in the carries. And then you can hold on to this if you want. Thank you so much, man. So I'll work up to like probably 2 heavier sets and a back off set, so 3 total working sets. But right now, this is our first working movement, so I'm gonna just kind of get warmed up, get feeling the lats, get some blood in there. And
Hey Richard, how are you doing today? Okay, I have an important announcement to make. I decided to go vegan, mostly because of you. Thanks for being a good role model, and I have a question for you. What SHL do I test for if I want to know kidney health status?
You would want to test cystatin C. It's basically a protein marker. Your kidneys are supposed to filter it out. And if your cystatin C is elevated, that is like the only conclusion you can come to if you have an elevated cystatin C is that your kidney function's degraded. And the only other test you can do is to get a urine test and see if you have protein in your urine. Those are the only 2 things that actually test kidney function directly. Creatinine is not a measure of kidney function. It's a measure of muscle metabolism. So just about every athlete is going to have an elevated creatinine score, especially if they're supplementing with creatine.
If you were given free US citizenship right now, would you choose to live there? If so, what area would you move to in the States?
So I benefit financially right now from living in Canada. The exchange rate benefits me massively. Anytime the American dollar is really high and the Canadian dollar is really low, I really benefit from that. On top of that, the tax system here is better for me. So basically, I make more money and I get to keep more of my money. So if I had an opportunity to say get my US citizenship like now, I'd probably still like take up the offer and get a dual citizenship just in case. So if the like rule was, okay, you have to live in the United States for 4 years, but we'll give you the citizenship so long as you live in the United States for 4 years, I'd take that opportunity to just get dual citizenship and then just move back to Canada. And then, like, if Canada becomes an unlivable shithole like, you know, the UK, I'd move back to the States. Thanks for the donation, though, Blackberry. Oh, yeah, and what state would I move to? I'm not entirely sure. I know, like, Florida gets shit on a lot. I'd want to move somewhere warm. I definitely wouldn't move to California. Like, that's just... Yeah, there's just no way. The taxes are way too high, way too much crime. Like, everything's stupid in California. It's like... It is literally the fucking liberal shithole meme. It's one of the few states where conservatives are actually right about. But yeah, like, as long as you avoid trouble, Florida wouldn't really be too bad. Like, I kind of stick to myself and I don't go out or anything, so Florida would probably be good for me. I think a few people have recommended New Hampshire to me, but it does get cold, so. Thanks for the donation, though, Blackberry. And thanks for the donation, CDG. Billy Eyelashes, donate $2. Billy Eyelashes, I think you mean Eilish, knocks on your door looking bad and acting feisty. She's looking stacked, pie to the sky like fresh spaghetti. She's talking nonsense and singing one of her dumb songs. Do you tell her to go to Canadian Tire or Scotiabank or invite her in? I mean, as long as I can play with her tits. And maybe, like, put my thumb up her ass. Thanks for the donation, Billy Eyelashes.
And then I have not run this machine for heavy sets, so I'm going to try to kind of feel the weight, get something for around 10 reps, and then go from there. So we're going to have something a little heavier, but nothing too heavy, because it's peak week. I don't want to absolutely trash my back. I just had a massage on my back last night, so I'm not trying to wind everything back up, but what is it? Back's feeling better. It's just, it's been a long time of being really lean, and you're more fragile when you're leaner, and things just tend to be wound up and don't want to heal. So this happened last year.
Maui got groomed today. Here he is casually sitting in the groomer's van next to a pile of his own fur.
Oh. Oh my god, he looks so clean. Oh my goodness. Oh, he is handsome. And he is so clean now.
So for kidney status I should test cystatin C and do a urinalysis? What does a urinalysis test check for? Also, what should I test to know my liver health status? Thanks. Also, can we get a double bicep flex for the chat?
The urinalysis is basically just going to test a similar thing. It's just a test to see whether or not your kidney function is adequate. Cystatin C is really good enough. You don't necessarily need to get both, but both tests are a little different. Like if you do a urinalysis for protein, it's just going to see how well your kidneys are filtering out protein in general. And again, that blood marker cystatin C, it's a specific protein that your kidneys are supposed to be filtering out. So if your cystatin C is elevated, the only logical conclusion you can make is that your kidney function's degraded. So they're both just testing kidney function. If you really want to be thorough, you'd get both tests, but one or the other is fine. And if you want to test your liver health, GGT would be the best one. AST and ALT, they're not actually, they don't actually test your liver. They're not liver enzymes. It's another measure of muscle metabolism. And again, a lot of people who do a lot of high intensity training are going to have elevated AST, ALT. So you want to test your GGT. And yeah, we can do a double bicep flex. There you go. Thanks for the donation, CDG.
You know, people are getting so dumb. I would love to see a new Planet of the Apes movie, which is a comedy that makes of the stupidity of the human race.
Aren't they making a new Avengers movie? It's probably close enough. Thanks for the donation, Dodo. And thanks for the donation, Viva Mao. Maui is looking very clean and handsome.
It's nothing new to me. It's just part of it. I'll get a sonogram after prep, see if something's up with that area. I just think I've been training my back so hard, trying to get it to grow, that I think things are just wound up from training back really hard twice.
It just moves really, really great for people who are broader. I don't know, the angle is just really...
3 plates?
No.
Oh, my bad. We're not even watching, you're unloading. Oh, you can change the top point of the movement.
Women look better when they're on steroids. They just do.
It's really tight to my body, so it feels really good. Yeah.
And pretty much a stickler when it comes to back movements because everything gets in the ground.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, Britt gets real picky. It takes...
Excellent flex, Richard. And thanks for the advice. I am gonna test my cystatin C and do a urinalysis because the test I can get does both at once. And I'll also test my GGT. How much creatine should I take for max muscle and strength gains at 155 pounds?
You'll probably be totally fine taking, like, 10 milligrams. Or, 10 grams, per day. Like, in all likelihood, if you're doing a lot of training and you train hard, you probably need a bit more creatine. So I just take 10 grams just to be safe. Like, creatine's pretty cheap anyway. Thanks for the donation, though, CDG. Appreciate it. Are you going to convince Ask Yourself to hop on roids? Well, I told him he should. He doesn't really want to right now. I'm not going to, like, hound him about it and be like, do roids, do roids, do roids. I'm not going to, like, peer pressure him or anything. But, if he ends up having an interest in it, then I can help him out with that and shit. But I'm not going to, like, peer pressure him into doing something he doesn't want to do. Dodo donated $2. What is this?
Sometimes, you have to be careful, right? Mm-hmm. If you hurt the back, right? It needs a long time to recover. Mm-hmm.
গরম দে গরম হাওয়া দিতেছে ভাবিরে দেয় এমন কারণ
Pizza employee massage.
So you have to do like this way, okay? Then lean the back. This one, relax. Okay. Okay. What's it? No noise. It's not good. See?
For some reason, that reminds me of the King Octopus stretch.
Fight! Perfect!
I wonder if that actually works. That is such a cool move. That looks like that could contort your body in a really painful way. Does he have gyno?
Generally speaking, everything you do is for humanity. Why? Why are we working? Why do you care about the politics? Why do you care about multiplanetary species? Consciousness, you mentioned that, or like,
yeah.
Do you ever
I don't think he has gyno. He might, but he's probably just fat. I don't think he has it. Like, he might. The only way you can really confirm it when somebody's this fat is via ultrasound. Like, he does have fat around his chest. So if he got lean, you might end up seeing gynecomastia, but from what I can tell, I don't think he does.
For most of my life, I thought we had put fascism back in its box, and so we were down to dealing with communism. But now it seems that we've come full circle in the collective West, and it's toxic in a way dealing with all of this. So World War I is the absolutely mismanaged war, and then the people who lived through that set up these institutions that have held the peace until the present day, when irresponsible leaders across the globe are not cautious enough. And then there's a price to pay there if you have a bunch of reckless drivers on the road trying to play chicken with each other, how this will all end, and I don't know the answer. We're living in really portentous times where people may make decisions where there's no going back. I mean, if we blow our alliance system, we're going to be dealing with China alone. That won't go well, particularly if we think we're going to corner them in some way, going to go corner a great power like China and think that'll go well for us. It won't.
I think, in all likelihood, China's military is a big paper tiger, similar to Russia. See how he looks left and right. Whoa. He's literally looking for people to, like, kill if they don't do the thing properly.
If you look at Taiwan, okay, maybe China can take it. It may have to leave it at glowing embers. That lovely chip foundry that everyone cares about, I imagine, would be the first casualty of that war. That will be blown and be gone. And then everybody else is going to be terrified, and they're going to, it's not blockade in our day. It's rather sanctions of saying, okay, if you're not going to play nice, we're not going to trade with you. And China is very trade reliant. And so, okay.
It's precisely because it has such a dominant position in trade that it would be difficult to coordinate a coalition against them. There's more volume of trade with China than the United States globally.
I think the story is on sanctions. They don't have to be leak proof. If you can knock off 1 or 2 percentages points of Chinese growth just because some people are sanctioning like war material, that would be a very likely thing. The cumulative effects of doing that to a country over generations is the difference between North and South Korea. It adds right up.
All right, thanks for the donation, Dodo.
Taking 5 grams of creatine a day and it gave me a good boost in my workouts, so I'll probably try taking 10 grams a day since it is pretty cheap. Speaking of roids, how is your mom doing on Anavar the past few days? Is she gonna updose? 2.5 milligrams isn't much.
She said she's feeling good and her workouts feel better. I'm not sure if she's on 2.5 or 5 milligrams. I'm not sure. I'll ask her. Thanks for the donation though, CDG.
You know, the people getting dumber just proves Planet Sheen was right all along. Evolution really is going in reverse.
Do you know any monkey songs?
I am not.
Hey there, Mr. Monkey. Let's get funky.
Evolution must be going in reverse.
Yes. Thanks for the donation, Dodo.
Okay. Oh, the one Brittany's using is the. Oh, yeah, that felt. Ah. 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 Oh, mandatory that the woman I chose to be with loves the Lord, and I believe that.
Oh, wow. I didn't know he was gay. Jeez.
You know, that's what God wanted for me in my life and wants for a marriage is for us both to have a relationship with him. I've always said how a marriage should be is like a triangle, and you're both moving closer to God as you move closer to each other. And ultimately the peak of a marriage is you come together with God as you come together in your relationship, in your marriage, and that's the way it was designed.
Gay
to be in my opinion and based on my faith, and so I share that with her, and that's what holds us together. You know, I get crap about my hair shavings in the sink because I shaved this about like 3 days ago, and it's already stubble all over my body, so she gets to deal with that all the time and leaving stuff on the counters, and she likes to move my stuff where I don't know where it's at, and we have these little bickers, but what matters is our core. The core of who we are is the same.
You're good.
Yeah, he moved up to open. I really want to get my quads big like this. I've had so many issues with lower body training. That's one of the reasons why I got that. Like, I ordered that belt squat machine. I hope it fucking comes soon.
No, you're good. It was just whenever he went out.
Dodo Donatellas, who do you side with here? Ben-Gvir versus U.S. envoys Witkoff and Kushner. Tensions erupt inside tonight's government meeting to approve the Hamas deal. National Security Minister Itamar Ben-Gvir clashed directly with U.S. envoy, rejecting the deal in fierce terms. I'm looking at the list of terrorists being released: murders, babies, rapists. Well, I mean, it's pointless to make any kind of peace deal with Hamas. The Trump administration is just fucking stupid. So, Ben-Gvir. Like this has played out before. Look at how Trump dealt with the Taliban in Afghanistan. Like, chances are things are going to go the exact same way. So.
This girl has 28-inch quads. We watch Plaza. She's fun to watch, has giant legs.
Yeah, I think I've seen her.
We are 3 days out from the Olympia,
And while we're on the subject of evolution going in reverse.
A military buildup of U.S. assets in the Middle East appears to indicate that the Trump administration could be gearing up for another round of war with Iran. Now, there's also the possibility that this buildup is just meant to serve as a deterrent, but let me give you the details. You can decide for yourselves. So Newsweek is reporting that a massive wave of US Air Force KC-135 Stratotankers has moved into the Middle East, marking one of the largest aerial refueling deployments in recent months. Similar large-scale military movements were observed just before the 12-day conflict involving Israel and US strikes on Iran's infrastructure and nuclear.
Good. Young Turks are just fucking stupid, dude. Like, they're just fucking communists that support fascism. Thanks for the donation, Dodo.
Didn't know about the creatinine levels in blood work. Mine was high, and bun was high and blood sugar low. Is it just from lifting?
Yeah, it's just from lifting. Yeah, those aren't markers of kidney function. Thanks for the donation, though, dude. Appreciate it. Yeah, just get a cystatin C test, and if you want to be more thorough, get a urine analysis. That's the only way to actually measure kidney function.
Stress is starting to a little bit, not that much, because I'm kind of warmed up from the previous shows, but
Yeah, she has pretty massive fucking legs.
actually so good, and I didn't go all the way down.
Yeah.
I didn't.
All right, guys, if you didn't know, I also
A little bit now.
Dodo donated tellers Israel's reputation worldwide and also with its #1 ally are a big problem for them moving forward. What should they have done to prevent or fix this? Nothing.
In public opinion on how Americans view the Middle East conflict. What are we talking about here? Who voters sympathize more with, the Israelis or the Palestinians? Back in October of 2023, it was the Israelis by 48 points. Look at this shift. Now we're talking about the Palestinians by a point. I looked back at...
You also deliberately skipped my other link. I did not deliberately skip
We're not
your
gonna
other link. I just didn't see it.
Do a Jeffrey Adonis video for this one because this is very important. Today I'm going to react to the times a day, and then with my girlfriend you feel like you've got someone, and I'm anxious, I can't really record. I am so proud of what burnout was. Of course I wanted to honor that. Your mind is part of
Yeah, that's not worth watching. Thanks for the donation though, Dodo.
This is so flat. Holy shit. Okay, I want everyone to see. Actually, I'm not embarrassed, but that I have absolutely like it's flat. And for a lot of people, they're gonna be like, "This is flat for you." I'm like, "Yes, this is flat."
Yeah.
It's still their A+, but it's not my A+.
What would you rate it in a grade system?
Dodo, please. We get it. Can you stop sending boring political vids?
Alright, thanks for the donation, CDG.
Yeah.
B-.
That's not bad.
Yeah, no, it's not bad.
You know, I've noticed a lot of female fitness influencers upload some of the most boring bullshit content. She does have pretty crazy quads, though. Does doing high-intensity cardio for 30 minutes a day negatively affect muscle growth? It kind of depends. Everybody has their own tolerance. 30 minutes isn't that long if you're... And it depends on what you mean by high intensity. Like, if you're, like, literally going balls to the wall, all out, like, absolute exhaustion in that 30-minute time, that could definitely interfere with weight training. But if it's like a moderately high intensity, where, like, yeah, you feel it, you're like huffing and puffing, but it's not like too hard, then, you know, it's just less likely to affect you. Ton donated $2 ceasefire, as in IOF tanks firing onto civilians on Gaza Beach. After the ceasefire has been placed, big surprise, blah blah blah. Israel tanks fire on coastal road. That is not a tank shell. Yeah, that is not a tank shell.
محملة بجنود إسرائيليين تتجه باتجاه منطقة واد. نعم الآن على ما يبدو قذيفة. نعم قذيفة الآن على الهواء مباشرة.
Yeah, so those are not tank shells.
نرجو أن تتوقوا الحذر ونذكر بأن المكتب الإعلامي الحكومي.
They're also clearly not high explosive rounds either. Those look like smoke bombs.
مباشرة من الآلية الإسرائيلية.
نذكر أشرف بأن المكتب الإعلامي الحكومي طلب من المواطنين عدم التوجه نحو شارعي أو من خلال شارعي.
Thanks for the donation, stupid, and you can see literally nobody died.
How much more do you be live evolution will be going in revevs?
Probably a fair bit. Like, they're not banning TikTok, so probably get pretty bad. Thanks for the donation, Dodo.
More than just big quads, dude. Here's your favorite muscle group. Don't skip around, just watch first 30 seconds.
She's got some big cakes. Wonder how tight she can clench her butt. Yeah, she's got big ass cakes. I approve. All right, thanks for the donation, CDG. I don't think I'm obviously not anywhere near big enough to compete in open. But I think I'm like damn near close to being able to actually compete in classic, like an amateur classic. Pretty damn close. I gotta bring my legs up, obviously, and I do want to bring up my lats a bit more.
You're welcome for the spank bank material. Also, the next person to send a dono about a black pill YouTuber or Palestine is gay.
Alright, well, I appreciate that. I do like some muscle mommies. Thanks for the donation, CDG. Yeah, but I think in like the next year, I can probably look at competing. I'd say I'm looking pretty yoked.
These very fan edits are getting out of hand.
I'm not even gonna bother watching that, dude. I can't be fucked. I'm not opening TikTok for that kind of stupid horse shit. Thanks for the donation, though, nigga. Dodo donated $3. Heard Donald Trump once again has expressed his very flattering opinions on my character, and I appreciate his concern for my mental health. To Trump, I would kindly receive any recommendations you might have to deal with these so-called anger management problems, since judging by your impressive track record, you seem to be suffering from them too. Okay, that's from Greta Thunberg. Why did you even bother sending me that? Thanks for the donation, Dodo.
Stop right there. I used to be interested in who you work for. Now I don't give.
Do you think Isaac will work out with you at all? And can you bring your mom over when her Anavar kicks in so we can stare at her muscular arms? DDD, also, can you play some racing games? It's been so long since you played.
Yeah, I want to play racing games. The issue is they are very physically demanding. And with the training I'm doing, it's just hard to have the energy to fucking play them. I end up just getting so tired so quickly. But once Assetto Corsa Evo fully releases, and I definitely want to play Project Motor Racing as well. 25th November, that's coming out soon. And that's going to be a full release, too. I definitely want to play this game. This one looks like it's going to be sick.
Weekend ready to rewrite sport isn't particularly equal or fair.
And yeah, Isaac is going to work out with me. Thanks for the donation, dude.
Give a damn. You're a dangerous liability, my friend. You'll be dead in about 15 seconds. The amusing thing is, they'll probably give me a medal for shooting you. Who are you? Mo Williams.
That is very weird.
Hello. This is a video where I hopefully convince you to stop putting these LED drop-in bulbs in your car's brake light and turn signal housings. If your car was equipped with incandescent bulbs for its brake lights and/or turn signals, then when they burn out, you need to replace them with the exact same bulb that came with the car. Why? I would be happy to explain, and I will, but first, I'm going to show you why I'm making this video. The Nissan Cube that I bought to make videos on.
Time to start snorting coke. Rich Piana style. Chupe HH.
I think I'll just stick to Adderall. I'll try Adderall first. Thanks for the donation though, CDG.
For our study gains. Rock out with your cock out.
Okay, I'll sing that for you. Thanks for the donation, Punk Rock Gains.
Did you hear Sneeko was unbanned on YouTube? Also Frank Tofano calls out clavicular.
Yeah, I don't have much to say about this.
Yeah, we already reacted to this yesterday. I have no idea why he would have been unbanned from YouTube. I'm assuming he was working with a lawyer or something. I hate... Like, honestly, most influencers just should not be able to upload. They're the most immoral, lying, weaselly, scumbag rat fucks on the planet. And so many of these people are, like, horrifically racist, too. Thanks for the donation, though, nigga.
Hey VG, hope you're keeping well. I heard you recently got on steroids. What led to you making the change and why?
'Cause I'm not an idiot. Just came to the conclusion that steroids are good for you. Thanks for the donations, Andres. Undead. 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 You better get up out the way, tomorrow will rise, so we fight today. And no, I don't give a fuck what you think and say, 'cause we're gonna rock this whole place anyway. Undead, you better get up out the way. Tomorrow will rise, so we fight today. No, I don't give a fuck what you think and say, 'cause we're gonna rock this whole place anyway. Now you see the motherfucker writing on the wall when you see J3T 30 deep, he's down to brawl. Fuck those haters I see, 'cause I hate that you breathe. I see you duck, you little punk, you little fucking disease. I got UH tatted on the front of my arm, Boulevard, brass knuckles in the back of the car. 'Cause we drunk drive Cadillacs, we never go far, and when you see us motherfuckers, better know who we are. I got one thing to say to punk asses who hate motherfuckers who don't know what, you better watch what you say. From these industry fucks to these faggot-ass punks who don't know what it takes to get this motherfucking drunk. I'm already loud, maybe it's a little too late. Johnny's taking hands up with all the faggots who hate. 'Cause I'm the God motherfucker and there's a price to pay. I'm God motherfucker and it's Judgment Day. Undead, you better get up out the way. Tomorrow will rise, so we fight today. And no, I don't give a fuck what you think and say, 'cause we're gonna rock this whole place anyway. Undead, you better get up out the way. Tomorrow will rise, so we fight today. And no, I don't give a fuck what you think and say, cause we're gonna rock this whole place anyway. Getting used to this nuisance and all the fags who badmouth this music. It's fucking stupid and foolish to think you can do this. You cowards can't, never will, don't ever try to pursue it. I took the chance, I paid the pill. You make me want to run, pulling my guns out and shit. You tempting me to run my mouth and call you out on this bitch. I heard the reason you got to beat or believe any of this. You just let your wrist get pissed and jump off a bridge. What, you can't see the sarcasm in the verse I spit? What, you think I just got lucky and didn't work for this shit? Bitch, I've been working at this ever since I was a kid. I paid 1,000,000 empty shows. Only family and friends. What kind of person would diss a band who deserves to get big? Hate to be that person. That shit's as worse as it gets. This verse is over. I quit. Signed Charlie. Seeing on your girlfriend's kids. You better get up out the way. Tomorrow will rise, so we fight today. And now I don't give a fuck what you think and say, cause we're gonna rock this whole place anyway. You better get up out the way. Tomorrow will rise, so we fight today. No, I don't give a fuck what you think and say, cause we're gonna rock this whole place anyway. White boys with tattoos are pointing right at you. We're breaking everything rowdy like a classroom packed of wolves, cause we don't follow the rules. And when you're running your mouth, our razor blades come out. Why you always pressing? You know I'm never stressing. What fucking the ends? Johnny to my left, go Phantom, and the rest who are down there at the west. I grew up by dry. What the fuck do you know about being a gangster? What the fuck do you know about being in danger? You like feeling. So you know you're just talking shit, mad all the boys because every song is a fucking hit. You better get up out the way. Tomorrow will rise, so we fight today. But no, I don't give a fuck what you think and say, cause we're gonna rock this whole place anyway. You better get up out the way. Tomorrow will rise, so we fight today. But no, I don't give a fuck what you think and say, cause we're gonna rock this whole place anyway. Motherfucking time to ride. You see you drop when we drive by. Motherfucker, time to ride. Watch you fuckers just die. It's a very cringe-ass, edgy song.
Hey VG, guess who's trying to defend himself?
But it is emblematic of all of America's much more consequential violence. Okay?
Yeah, he lied about everything. I don't want to waste 20 minutes on this. He is abusing and torturing this dog. He doesn't let this dog leave his room, and he streams for hours and hours on end, forcing this dog to just sit there because I think he's using it as a prop. He's using a shock collar, and he lied that he was using a vibrating collar. It's a shock collar. So, yeah, he's just a fucking piece of shit. Thanks for the donation, Dodo.
I don't get why Greta has become a Palestine activist. For years and years she spent every day talking about how climate change will result in the extinction of humanity at any second. Now, she doesn't ever talk about climate change. Total flip-flopper.
Well, it's because that's where the money is. She's just a grifter. So she's getting paid by foreign governments to do this, particularly China. Thanks for the donation, Blackberry.
Can we watch this for a minute plaza this?
If you keep eating cookies, you'll never amount to anything. Have an apple.
Oh, busted.
And this.
Hey, what's up, everyone? Good fucking morning. Hey, what's up, everyone? Good morning. Good morning, goddammit. Hey, good morning. Good morning, goddammit. Let's kill this. Cardio, 20 minutes. Fuck yeah. God damn it. Stick to the program. Stick to the program. Stick to the fucking program. Fucking do this, god damn it. Get up. Cardio. Fuck yeah! Hey, what's happening? Cardio time. What's up? What's up? What's up, everyone? Keep pushing forward. Have a great fucking day. Great day. Great fucking day. Great fucking day. Great fucking day. Let's do this. All right, guys, let's fucking do this. Let's do this shit. Let's do this. And let's fucking do this. Little cookie on the way to the gym. Now, this doesn't count.
If I have more than 3 of these cookies, I end up having diarrhea.
As a meal. You know, a lot of times you guys hear me talk shit about protein bars and protein cookies and fucking this doesn't count. I'm having this as a yummy snack because I enjoy it. As far as my meals and my protein and everything else, I don't even count this shit, okay? And I'm just having it because I want to have it. So that's what I say when I say that, you know, it's shit. It's when you're replacing your food meals with protein shakes and protein bars. And I have to tell you that I've been in that same boat where, you know, I'll have a protein drink from the gym and a fucking protein bar, and I'll count that shit as a fucking meal, you know? I'll be like, okay, that's meal number 4. It's like, no, motherfucker, that ain't a meal. That doesn't count as a meal, you know? So that's my point I'm trying to make. This isn't a meal. It's a fucking snack. A yummy fucking snack I'm eating on the way to the gym because I love these motherfuckers. Oh, busted again. So, having a little snack again. I just drank my shake at the gym, so I'm good to go, and I'm on my way home. I live about 12 minutes away from North Hollywood Gold, so I will be literally eating my next meal about 15 minutes after I finish my workout. And this is just a little snack between my shake and my meal. It does not count. I don't know, I can't remember. I think these are 120 grams of carbs, and the calories is probably, maybe, I don't even know. I have no idea, and I'm not even gonna try to read it right now. So, but my point is this shit doesn't count. It's just a snack. And a mighty good snack, I might say. What's up? Cookie time. So, about to have a cookie on the way to the gym.
Dude, it fucking triggers me that he's opening up the cookie thing when he's driving and he's like distracted and doesn't have his hands on the wheel.
As a little snack, it's starting to become a little bit of a habit. Actually, it's become quite a big habit. I've been doing this shit for a while. But, you know what? It don't seem to affect me. And I'm trying to put size and weight on. I'm not trying to fucking rip up. So, you know, it can only help. It's the way I see it. And again, this shit don't count. It don't even count, you know, in my protein, carbs, or fat, or calories. It's just a little snack. The lemon is definitely underrated. No one buys a lemon because they think the lemon isn't that good. Lemon is fucking good. It is the shit. So if you haven't had lemon, try that shit. And I'm not sponsored by these fucking people. I don't even Lenny and Larry or some shit. I've been eating these cookies have been around for over 20 years. These guys have been, I don't know who they are, I never met them, but all I know is they've been busting their fucking ass for over 20 years trying to get this cookie company off the ground. And they finally fucking did it, so I want to congratulate them because I've been seeing their shit forever. And, you know, it took them a long time. And, you know, got to give them big props to hang in there and keep pushing it. You know, most people, they don't hang in there. They give up if that shit ain't, you know, doesn't blow up, you know, within a year or so. So, big props, you know. And then I got a little banana, little cookie, you know, and cookie's my dessert, banana's my dessert. So, you know, this is basically my meal, as you guys know. This is what I eat 6 times a day. That's what we're doing now. We up those meals. Fucking awesome. Cookie and the banana doesn't count. It's just extra shit. You know, I haven't even looked to see how much protein's in this cookie. And you know what? I don't even believe there probably is as much protein as it says. I'm not talking shit. I'm just saying that more than likely, it probably does have that amount of protein, but it might not. So I don't even worry about it. Don't even worry about it. All I worry about is as long as the meals I have the correct nutrients, it's all that matters. This shit's all extra. Doesn't even count. So we got 50 grams of protein, 60 grams of carbs right here in this meal. That's all I'm worried about. Cookie time, goddammit.
What's that?
Once I put that plant that seed in my head that I want a cookie, I gotta have a cookie, man. I have no fucking willpower. I gotta have a fucking cookie.
They're so good.
Then after I have one cookie, I gotta have another fucking cookie.
What flavor do you have?
Oatmeal raisin.
Oatmeal raisin, both?
That's all I had. They're fucking sold out everything.
Oh, really? But those
I fucking ate them all.
Those are one of the best ones, though.
Wash it down with some BCAAs. Ready to train now.
Oh, yeah.
Now I feel good. That's all I needed. Now I'm fucking ready. And yeah, a little cookie on the way. All right.
You're a cookie monster.
I'm a fucking every kind of monster.
Yeah.
Cookie monster.
Busted.
Do you think that potatoes are a better source of carbs than rice?
Yeah, probably. They have more nutrition and fiber and shit, especially sweet potatoes. More antioxidants. Plain potatoes are very high in vitamin C, which a lot of people don't know. So yeah, they probably are better for you than rice. Thanks for the donation though, Blackberry.
So what's up?
On the way to the gym. Finally, baby. Finally on the way to the gym. Man. Oh. Post-workout snack as the pre-workout. Does that make any sense?
Why doesn't he just eat it before he gets in the car and starts driving?
Yeah, I think so.
Triggers me so much seeing him drive and do this.
Little cookie snack before the workout, right, baby?
Yeah. Yum.
Busted. Driving with no hands, unwrapping a goddamn cookie, getting off the freeway. Cars, fuck. Okay, let's see. Can I make you get in and do all these turns? Check it out. No hands, baby.
Oh, yeah, no thanks.
Come on, baby. Here we go.
No.
Let's see if I can do it. No hands. Ready?
No.
Ready?
No.
The problem is I got. Check it. Are you filming it? Are you filming my wheel? You're not even filming it, baby.
Oh my god.
Look at that shit, god damn it. Look at those skills, baby. Look at that shit.
Jesus.
And he comes to the stop sign, stops. It's clear. Still no hands. Unwrapping the cookie. Right?
Jeez.
That's what's most important. Still no hands, god damn it. And look up ahead. Look up ahead. Oh shit. Still no hands.
Got some skills, huh?
Busted. Take a little break at North Hollywood Park here. Just got done filming a little new series I'm doing, which is crazy little stories. I haven't decided what I'm gonna call it yet. My crazy life, crazy stories, past. I don't know, some shit like that. But little stories, you know, some funny stories, you know, some crazy stories, some.
What are your thoughts on Gordon Ramsay? My friends thought I was weird for saying he was a pompous dick.
He's a fucking piece of shit. He treats everyone like shit. He's an asshole. Anti-vegan fucking cunt. Thanks for the donation, Ben Boy. And he sucks at cooking. Like he's actually a bad chef.
Lesson learned stories. Just, just random fucking stories that I find interesting, fucking funny, fucking crazy, fucking learn something from the story. Just some, good ass fucking shit. So I'll take a little break, eating my motherfucking cookie, drinking my motherfucking drink. All day you may. Brand new fresh. So anyway, guys, break time. And I had some fucking backup cookies here. Where's my backup cookies? What the hell is this? What is this?
It's mine.
What the fuck?
It's mine.
Hiding fucking bars and shit all over the place.
I'm not hiding it. It was just here.
Dude, he drives
you ate it.
distracted.
I didn't eat my shit. I have 2 fucking
So
cookies.
much.
Where are they?
The hell are my cookies at?
Why the fuck does he eat and drink and drive all the time?
Do you take my cookies?
No. Oh, here.
God damn it.
I don't even.
Still my fucking cookies.
It's been so long
Here's
since
one.
I've seen
What do I
this. I
got?
forgot
What
he
flavors?
was such a terrible
Where's the other
driver.
I don't know. I put the shit right there. Now it's gone.
Yeah, but I didn't take it. What's this?
Just so happens the peanut butter one's missing. Your fucking favorite flavor, peanut butter.
Oh, here it is.
Ah.
It's here. Here it is.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Accusing me of stealing.
Got my double chocolate and my peanut butter. I'll put it right here for when I'm done with my shake.
Uh-huh.
Trying the old fucking... I know that trick. Yeah. The fucking...
Alex Leonidas has a 10,000 IQ.
I always...
Let me take a look. Thanks for the donation, Blackberry.
follow the clock.
Are we almost done? Yeah, we'll finish this
Little
first.
peanut butter snack. Driving home. Still driving home from the gym. Jesus Christ, babe. Right?
It's taking forever.
Fucking... Yeah, I'm starving. Drink that shake, cookie. This shit doesn't even count. But it sure does taste good.
Classic 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight rule. But that's the thing, I was basing it off my total body weight, not factoring in my body fat percentage. And so being Baramo for most of my training years, typically in the 180s, that was the minimum. Whereas nowadays, 9 out of 10 times, it's 120 grams. So there's quite the difference. And what really connected that for me was when I got shredded for the first time. I don't think people realize how much body fat they're carrying until they've hit a single digit status. It puts you in check that you're carrying far more body fat than you realize. We all love to think that our fat-free mass index is on the higher end until the definition is popping, the vascularity is there, and you see that you're kind of a lightweight bodybuilder. And that was the case for myself. When I competed, I was 150 pounds, around 7% body fat or so. So logically speaking, if I go by the basic 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight, that would mean I need 150 grams at the most. But then you have to ask, if 7% of my body weight is coming from body fat and extra protein doesn't fuel that, then by default, 150 grams must be wrong. It must be lower, which if you math that out, it'd be around 140 grams. But then if you look at the various meta-analyses that have come out on protein consumption, the general consensus is 0.8 grams of protein per pound of body weight, a little bit less than what we've been told. And so when you base it off the 150 or the 140, which you'll only know when you get shredded, you end up with 120 grams of protein. And you have to ask, when you're in a bulk state, when your body fat is 20% or more, do those requirements really change? That's what I set out to achieve after I got shredded, which was in 2023. And since then, it's been a good 2.5 years, my protein has been on that lower side. Even if you factor in the muscle loss from a dieting phase, a lengthy period of time, if you manage that correctly, you maintain as much muscle as possible, and then you rebuild whatever you lost, which might be at most 5 pounds of lean tissue, it still doesn't mean you need an extra 50 grams. And so one has to ask, am I really following a low protein diet, or am I following an evidence-based protein diet.
Ever since you made that switch from going from, let's say, an average of 200 grams of protein per day down to an average of 120 grams, what have you noticed in terms of your body composition?
I've noticed absolutely nothing. Recovery.
Dude, I can't stand Jeremy Ether. I literally can't stand that fucking guy.
Is exactly the same. Progressive overload is the same as it's been for many years. I can't say that it affected my gains in any kind of way. The only thing that it did allow me to do is optimize my macros so that I can allow for more carbohydrates, which you can argue enhances your work capacity and muscular fullness, especially in a calorie deficit. Having a higher carb diet allows you to retain muscle mass better. By doing that, you can also raise your fiber intake, which ultimately solves the hunger issue as well. And we can even make the case that maybe fiber can be anabolic, but there's some gut bacteria that can use the fiber into short chain fatty acids that then aid in muscle protein synthesis. So maybe that's a possible mechanism. Maybe it's the muscle glycogen that you're never depleting yourself. Maybe it's the fact that you can have a lower total calorie count, but just have better macros overall and better micronutrients to go with it. Because if the extra protein calories are wasted and that's all you're getting, which might even come in the form of protein powder, and now
No, I'm probably not going to eat pizza this month. Haven't eaten pizza in quite some time.
you can replace that for a whole plant food, something that is more health promoting, well, by default, your meal plan is superior. That's another take on it. But what I could tell you 100%, and I know because I've been documenting all my training since 2020, I have SD cards filled to the max, is that my gains have not been affected whatsoever. And if it did, I would have noticed it immediately. And I've played it up and down. I've tried up to 220 grams, including being at single-digit body fat. Comparing that to 120, which is 100 grams less, I'm just as strong as I've ever been. 405 bench at 181, 5.5 plate dip, 210-pound weighted pull-up. The proof is in the pudding. I'm not seeing any recovery problems. That's why I've continued to do it, and I truly believe that it has to do with the fact that I've identified how much muscle mass I'm actually carrying.
Jeez,
Once you get shredded, you
It's funny how people look like so terrible when they get super lean.
know the truth. And until that point, everyone who is 200 pounds plus at above 20% body fat, I can almost guarantee that they're consuming too much protein. It's not hurting their gains necessarily, but it's not benefiting them either, is what I would argue.
What about going the other way? Have you noticed the benefits of higher carbs during like your bulking phases?
In general, your carbs are probably going to be higher when you're bulking just because the caloric intake can be quite up there. If I'm on the leaner side, I'll be consuming somewhere in the lower 2000s, whereas if I'm bulking, it's upper 3,000, sometimes even 4,000 calories. And through that, you can end up getting 600 grams of carbs a day. I know that might sound insane, but it's true if you math it out. And therefore, you're just filled out to the max, not to mention the additional bloat factor from being at higher body fat with the enhanced leverages. So there's definitely something there. Even that, the more calories you consume, the higher your protein will be automatically. Even if you're primarily getting it through whole plant foods. Like, for example, everyone thinks of beans as a protein source, but they're also quite high in carbs. So if you're eating more beans, both your carbs and your protein will go up at the same time, but you're not necessarily going to have a super high protein intake. It's just that your calories are so much higher that your macros kind of balance out in that way, if that makes sense.
If anything, people would think that, okay, this guy's going 100 grams protein less, plus
No, I'm not going to eat spaghetti this month.
he's getting it in from plant-based sources. Common perception would be like, okay, this guy's just going to shrivel up.
Now, when I first transitioned into this, of course, I was still consuming animal products, and it was the same amount of grams. And since then, there have been some meta-analyses comparing vegans to omnivores, and when you do it correctly, there appears to be no significant differences. So I can at least attest to that part. It's the same. I'm going 2 years strong eating this way, and my physique has continued to improve the entire time. Soy protein is quite anabolic. It can actually mimic animal protein in many ways. And that's what people don't realize too, is that when your protein intake is high enough, you're still raising IGF-1. Not that this would improve muscle gains in any kind of way, but just points to the fact that plants contain all the essential amino acids that you need. And when you're consuming a whole food diet, which blends
No, I'm not gonna eat cinnamon buns this month.
in everything, and especially if you're a bodybuilder, you're probably getting an excess amount of protein, especially if there's going to be a block of tofu mixed into the equation, or if you're going to throw in 2 scoops of pea protein powder or something, which even that you don't need. And that was another realization, that the days where I would go without the protein powder, it wouldn't affect my recovery. So you do 1 day on, 1 day off, and the next thing you know, you're skipping multiple days. And then you're going from having 4 scoops to 2 scoops, and then it becomes 1 scoop. And then it's, how much more can I reduce this thing and still get away with it? What I found in my case is that when I went to around 90 grams or so of protein, that's where I could see somewhat of a difference. But at 120, nothing. And 150 did not provide additional benefits over 120. And if I did get 150, it's simply because I was in the bulking phase and my calories were so high that you're inevitably going to end up there anyway. So either way, it's not something to worry about whether you're leaner or heavier. It just balances out.
How important do you think your protein intake has been for getting you to where you are at today? If you found that protein intake isn't a huge variable when it comes to your gains, what are the few things that you would say are?
Sure, when I first started lifting, my intake was a lot higher than what it is now. One could make the same case for my volume, but it doesn't mean that it was the best way. I was probably getting too much just for the sake of being safe. But the way I look at it is, if you're able to make the same gains as an elite lifter, so you're seasoned and you don't see any recovery issues in your tendons, your ligaments, even muscularly, if you can get away with it when you're that strong, then surely you didn't need that much protein when you were a novice lifter. So that's how I rationalize it. I'm not lifting beginner loads here. I'm pushing myself to the absolute max, training very hard with no injuries either. So that's also proof. I mean, it says something as well. But what I'm saying is, just because you did something as a beginner doesn't mean that you still have to do that as an advanced lifter. And so I don't think that having higher protein when I was younger was the game changer. Had I eaten the same way that I do now and actually optimized my programming instead, that's what would have made the difference. And I think everyone's focusing on all the wrong things. Instead of asking, where do you get your protein? You should be asking, where do you get your fiber? How much micronutrients are you getting? What is the best caloric bang for your buck in general? Once you've hit your basic requirements, focus on other things. I truly believe that programming is the missing link. So that's what I could have worked on. I just feel like people need to focus more on their health instead of just one sole macronutrient, protein. Like, that's not why the masses are stuck in a novice phase. And even if you're consuming protein powders, you might be making no gains at all just because you don't know what you're doing in the gym. So you need to solve that first and then focus on the quality of your overall diet. Whole, unprocessed foods, getting a variety of micronutrients. You know, a lot of guys, they follow, their macros look perfect on paper. But then you look at the vitamins and minerals and they're actually below the RDA, or they're barely making it, or they do hit it, but they could have had less calories with more nutrition, is what I'm saying. And then looking at the studies that were coming out simultaneously, they all kept saying the same thing. Around 0.8 grams of protein per pound of body weight. The vast majority of these studies were showing that. Now, there's a few minority that will say 1.3 to 1.5, but that is not the general consensus. And I've tried that too, and I didn't see any difference. So I think I'm going to go with what most of the research says. Give it an honest shot, truly. And on top of that, doing it on hard mode and seeing if it works out. That's been surprising to me too, because now I'm saving money and I don't have to stress about it as much. So it's quite shocking. The gains have been just as optimal. So it was my curiosity with how things played out after my competition.
I very much dislike Jeremy Ether. Alex is cool, but Jeremy Ether's a fucking idiot.
Engine management technology had these little buggers in the brake lights.
$2 $2, have you reacted to this cuck already? Can you make a response video to him? He's asking for it.
Recently...
Why are these carnivores getting heart disease? I don't know who the fuck this is.
Some well-known doctors have made very bold claims about the carnivore diet. specifically saying
No, it's not a bold claim.
that it causes many people heart disease and heart attacks. Then there's also the case of 50 Plus Beauty, who after a year on carnivore had a stroke and blamed the stroke on the carnivore diet. And for those who don't know, a stroke is typically caused by the same plaque buildup in the arteries as heart disease. So in today's video, we're going to analyze all of these cases and see
a lot of these carnivore keto people that have heart attacks at a young age. Recently, 2 posts that I saw on Twitter where people in their 30s have had heart attacks who are LDL cholesterol deniers that say, I'm not afraid of LDL cholesterol. You know, one of them had a stroke at, age 35 that can't type anymore. One of them had a heart attack, who was also one of these people that is selling a book on why cholesterol is great for you. And obviously this is just nonsense. Please, people, take this seriously. Cholesterol is not a joke. We have nothing to gain by telling you this. What do I get out of it? I'm trying to prevent you from ever needing a cardiologist, ever needing the healthcare system, ever needing anything. If you're young and healthy and your cholesterol is up here, please get it down. It doesn't even matter how. Just get it down so that you don't end up needing to have 30 medications by the time you're 30 just to keep your heart pumping and keep you alive, or to keep you from, having strokes or whatnot. Listen to us. We're not trying to trick you. It's not a conspiracy.
This doctor is making the claim that lots of these keto/carnivore people are having heart attacks. Yet despite the fact that millions of people are on the carnivore diet around the world, he does not name or show a single real person.
You can literally look up, like on Instagram, what is it? Carnivore Cringe. She posts people talking about having all sorts of issues, including heart attacks, strokes, and other like really weird problems like strange body odors, constipation, diarrhea. A lot of these people, their cholesterol is so high, they end up getting cholesterol deposits in their skin and they look disfigured. Like, this guy's a fucking idiot. Like, by the way, what the fuck does any of this stupid horseshit matter? We have meta-analyses of randomized trials proving cholesterol causes heart disease.
And since LDL often rises on carnivore, they argue that carnivore itself is causing heart disease. But is that really true? LDL is often referred to as the quote, bad cholesterol. However, in reality, LDL is not even cholesterol at all. It's actually a carrier cholesterol. Specifically, LDL is a particle that carries cholesterol and other...
Oh my god. So, for one thing, this is a total straw man. Neither Dr. Allo nor Lane Norton said that the molecule count is what matters. If you have high molecule count but your particle count is low, you're not going to have an increased risk. It's particle count. So, yes, if you want to be very specific, ApoB, but everyone gets their LDL on their blood work, so this is irrelevant. If you have an elevated molecule count, then you're also going to have an elevated particle count. There's very rarely ever discordance unless you're diabetic.
Essential molecules throughout our blood to wherever they're needed in the body. Supposedly, high levels of LDL are what clog your arteries and cause heart disease. And you hear this a lot.
Yes, that's been proven through meta-analyses of randomized trials.
It's often repeated throughout the mainstream. However, there is a large amount of evidence which strongly suggests that this is not true. There are
That's not true.
5 major pieces of evidence in particular that really disprove this whole study. Researchers and
yeah, so this is not a randomized trial, so I'm done. I don't care. These people are just the most dishonest fucks. Like, these same people who say, oh, prospective cohorts and surveys, they're garbage data, then he just links a fucking... He links a fucking cross-sectional survey. So, again, there's meta-analyses of randomized trials. Gold standard of research. Like, I don't care. I don't need to listen to this stupid shit day in, day out.
And when I first saw them, I thought, that looks pretty good. The last time I really yapped on about these was quite a while ago. Things have improved. I'm sure they're in a better
Hasan
spot
shocked his
now.
dog.
But, I'd better check So I put one of the original incandescent bulbs back in, started the engine to make sure that the electrical system was running at the charging voltage. For those that don't know, when a car is running, the voltage is usually like 14 to 14.5 volts, and that's going to make light bulbs brighter. So I made sure the engine was running, put my foot on the brake, and yeah, the stock incandescent bulb is a lot brighter than this LED replacement. And that's really important because your brake lights let people behind you know, hey, you're slowing down, please don't hit me. And why would you want your brake lights to not be as bright as they should be? Personally, I want them to be as bright as they should be, and so I have removed these from the car, and now you are getting this video. But before I explain this more deeply, I want to tell you about my socks. Aren't they just lovely? This one's even brake light and turn signal themed. How topical! That's right, these are my Technology Connections socks, the first and so far only official. It has a reflector and lens assembly, which is designed to project the light from the bulb pretty much directly behind your car. It's a relatively narrow cone of visibility, and that's so that the people behind you can see the brake lights and turn signals clearly even in bright ambient lighting. Now, the optical system depends on knowing where the filament, the thing that actually produces light, is going to be. Because if you can imagine a parabolic reflector, the filament needs to be in the exact correct spot in order for the performance of that reflector to be standardized. And automotive light bulbs, the ones that you're supposed to put in your car, are manufactured so that the filaments are always in the exact same place. That's part of why there are so many types of light bulbs out there. There's been different designs over the years. But it is engineered so that way when you put the same 7441 or whatever bulb in the light housing, it's going to have the exact same optical performance as any other 7441 bulb. But these don't do that. And that is why every single one of these is labeled for off-road use only. I'm frankly annoyed that auto parts stores, or in this case Walmart, sell these things because they're not road legal. And speaking of Walmart, the reason why I have footage from inside a Walmart was because I wanted to pick up the red version of this bulb and test that. When you are putting a light behind a colored filter, the filter is going to remove a huge amount of the light. And this is a cold white bulb, so filtering down to red is going to remove, I don't know, like 80% of the light output. It's going to be a lot. And ideally, you would put a red LED behind a red lens. That way there's very little filtering. And I know that red versions of this exist, and I figured Walmart would sell them, but they don't. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because it kind of makes sense that they wouldn't sell them, because this bulb you can put in a turn signal housing so long as it's got amber coloring, or a brake light housing, and it's going to work. Whereas if you put a red bulb in a turn signal, that would, well, if it's in the rear here in the US, that would actually technically be fine. I'll be annoyed by it, but it would technically be fine. But anyway, if Walmart is only selling the white ones, and I did not go to any other stores to try and find this out, but if Walmart is only selling the white ones, then they're selling the worst one for someone who wants to put these in their brake light housings. And it's just so frustrating that these are for sale in a store like Walmart. They're totally just, I doubt the people that are purchasing these in stores are that aware of the fact that these are just not road legal, even though the packaging very clearly says that. But, you know, it's just, it's not good. Don't use these. Put the bulb that's supposed to be in your car back.
That's very wise. Let's take a muscle mommy break. This chick has some of the craziest quads I've ever seen. I wonder what the legality of steroids is in China, because all the steroids are made in China. Why is the quality on this so shit? Weird. Your quads are fucking insane. She also's got a nice ass. That's a nice ass. She has a really nice bum. She has really good calves too. Really trying to build my calves. She... That's a nice bum. Anonymous Stony Tillers, my mind is blown. How are these people so dumb? And how are they the most popular? Watch the whole vid on high playback speed.
Dr.
Solomon's latest vid. Yeah, we reacted to that last night.
Mike is about to show you what training to failure actually looks like. And as he does these leg curl reps, you can just hear in his moans just how hard he's training.
He doesn't train to failure, and yelling doesn't mean you're doing anything hard. He's just throwing a tantrum.
That's what giving it your all looks like.
No, so let's clear something
He literally didn't even train to failure.
up here. When it comes to training to failure, it's not about external signs of stress like screaming and shaking and moaning. If your last rep looks identical to the first one in terms of speed and range of motion, then it's not a maximum effort set. In fact, it might not even be anywhere close. If you're actually training to failure, then one of two things will happen depending on where in the range the exercise is hardest and where the muscle is strongest. You'll be pushing as hard as you possibly can, and you'll either get a gradual slowdown in rep speed until you can't complete another rep, or the overall speed won't really change, but the range of motion will get cut down to where you can't lock out the full rep. If neither of those things are happening, then it doesn't matter how much discomfort you're in, you still have reps left in the tank. Now, this doesn't mean you need to train to failure on every set, but you shouldn't be stopping any more than about 1 to 2 reps short, and if you don't know where failure actually is, then you have no way of gauging that. And if you want to dive deeper and learn all the key principles behind effective hypertrophy,
Yeah, Mike's just a clown. He's just a fucking idiot. Thanks for the donation, Anonymous. Yeah, I really like her butt. I love it when girls have big muscular butts. They're just so juicy. Yeah, I've jerked off to her IG. I think I have to clean out my ears. Wish you could just go up and sniff girls' butts at the gym. That'd be nice. It's a very big vein there. No, I wasn't hearing gummy. I was just hearing like weird whooshing sounds. It's just my ears are like stuffed with earwax or something. Oh. Yeah, I really like her butt. Wonder what her leg training looks like. She doesn't, I don't think she has a YouTube channel, and I haven't really seen too many posts of her actually training legs. Wonder if she gets a lot of attention at the gym. Or if, like, dudes are too afraid to talk to her. Dude, I love these one-piece outfits chicks are wearing now. Fucking great. She wears a corset.
You're hearing the bold unknown rush around in your brain. Since you're having a muscle mommy break, can you show us your top 3 or top 5 favorite girls that you would or have jerked off to? I like the one on RN, I love Asian girls with big calves.
I think I only follow her and Natasha Offey. I guess I am following Lean Beef Patty, but like I literally hate her. I can't stand her. But yeah, it's really just her and Natasha Offie. Thanks for the donation, though, CDG. Yeah, I know Gaza and Israel are working on a ceasefire deal. Her calves are really fucking juicy. Yeah, she fine.
She's a fucking animal abuser, along with Beef Patty. What the fuck is wrong with you?
It's great, dude. Everybody is. Thanks for the donation. She's clearly doing lower doses here. Way smaller. Yeah, way smaller. You can see when she really started hitting the sauce hard. Yep.
With each new exercise, I will feel it before doing anything, no matter what it is. You want a 10?
Please don't go to bed yet. It's only been 2 hours. I need you. Just do something that wakes you up. Look at more hot girls or something.
Yeah, I'm not gonna go to bed just quite yet. Thanks for the donation, CDG.
Mike is right. Even when it's really similar to the execution we did before.
Is there an amount of grams of fiber per day which doesn't lead to any more meaningful health benefits, like does 100 grams over 80 grams fiber cause any meaningful detective difference? I don't know if there's technically an upper limit. Like, you can only eat so much during the day, so, you know, there's no way to infinitely increase your fiber intake. The higher you go, the less of a benefit it has. So there is a hyperbolic curve where, like, you get most of the benefit, I think, when you're consuming 40 grams per day, and then it starts to taper off. But the people who consume the most amount of fiber per day, I think it's like Uganda or something. And the average is like close to 100 grams. It's not particularly difficult to get that much fiber in if the majority of your calories are coming from beans.
How strongly would you say your libido has been affected since devouring the sauce on a scale of 1 to 10 before and after? Also, I showed my mom your mushroom video the other day. She liked you and said you're pretty and that you look like Meghan Markle.
I don't think I look like Meghan Markle. When I first went on, my libido was just ridiculous, crazy, through the roof, stupid. That was just out of fucking control. It's gone down, but it's higher than normal. I would say like probably, I would say like around a 30% boost. Maybe 50. Like some days I'm definitely more horny, so I'd say like maybe 30 to 50% more, which is tolerable. But yeah, when you're too horny, it's like actually fucking annoying. Thanks for the donation though, Terry.
The movement itself.
Yeah, I'm gonna stream
it's
Battlefield.
Still different. What we need to do is, neurologically, we need to adapt so our brain knows what kind of muscle we're trying to activate, because now it's not about chest only, it's about shoulders and chest. The thing is that we tried to isolate chest completely all the reps before, so we did not push with shoulders, but now we want to try to involve or add more shoulders into the movement. So we need to teach the brain what to do. That's what we do now. In introducing set, feeling set.
Smart. And even more smart because he's this close to a show. So just think about the connective tissue. It's drier. You're off season, you got enough food, carrying enough water, it's fine. But precise on this. I love that you're incorporating this too. So this is number 2 for me on today. Hasn't benched in a long time. And then incorporating a shoulder, chest.
Do you think it's worth consuming 100 grams of fiber versus 80 grams? It's probably not going to make much of a difference, if anything.
Hybrid. For that insertion, the connection between those two. Thickness. Come on, stud. Play with it. Play with it. Let's go. Let's go. Beautiful.
Important here, we're trying to push the elbows under the bar, not here. So we are pushing along the line, not against the line.
So you can see from the last video, that was more directly out. Now this is more tucked in. Allows more range of motion and that connection. Amazing. You guys see the thickness between the chest and the front delt? That's what you want.
No, I don't know
So when you
how
guys
much
go,
fiber I'm consuming.
I just want to isolate the chest. Well, I got news for you. When you're on stage, they're seeing the chest, they're seeing the front delts, they're seeing the connection in between.
It's like, bad news, competitors.
Yeah, it's like, wait a minute. I didn't work the insertion. Wrestling mentality. Set your done.
Perfect. Done. Round between the sets.
These people are cringy. Do you agree, though, Okinawan people 20, 30 years ago and the diet they ate is strong evidence? Can you form a proper sentence? That's a lot of weight.
What are you doing?
Do you think 0.8 grams protein per pound body weight per day is correct? Yeah, it's fine. Is the damage caused by years of meat eating irreversible? No. I know of vegans who have died of heart disease. Just about everybody dies of heart disease, dude.
Over the course of its first 7 years as a franchise, Power Rangers grossed over $6 billion in revenue. That's a lot of money, and to put it in perspective, Power Rangers continued to be a relatively successful franchise for an additional 23 years, and within those 23 years, only grossed an additional $3 billion. Power Rangers had become a worldwide phenomenon. They couldn't keep toys on the shelves, and they were just raking in the cash. I say all of that to also say this. What the hell is this? In the Green No More 2-parter in Season 2 of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, we get a brand new team of Rangers. These are Lord Zedd's Dark Rangers, his own team of evil Power Rangers that he, of course, plans on taking over the world with. This was an awesome idea. I love evil Rangers, and after the success and the love that the show got from the Green with Evil series, it only made sense to do that again. But this is just like the worst thing I've ever laid my eyes on. I mean, look, Power Rangers had only been going on for, what, like a year? Maybe like a year and a half or some change when they were producing these episodes of the show. But it was already a success and making a lot of money. So I can't believe for such a novel idea, something that it could have been really cool, this is what we got. The absolute bottom of the barrel, bare minimum of effort was put into these suits, and hell, the episodes in general, because if you watch them, they just kind of stand there. This is a 2-parter. Okay, this is 40 minutes of television, and these Dark Rangers just stand there. That's all they ever do. They don't fight, they barely even move, and they look like this. I mean, hell, Power Rangers is known for reusing old assets, old helmets, old suits, but adding a little extra flair to them to make them different. Take VR Troopers, for example. For its second season, they wanted new suits for the team. So what did? They took old Mighty Morphin Power Ranger helmets and just painted over them. It was pretty noticeable, but I mean, it's at least something. Why am I bringing all this up? Well, Power Rangers is just known to be a pretty cheap show, especially when Haim Saban had his hands on the franchise. He would do anything to save a couple of bucks, cut a lot of corners, and whenever there's a super cool idea, I mean, take the, Legendary Battle, for example, it just usually fell short. Look, the Dark Ranger example is the worst, okay? But it's not always bad. When Power Rangers reuses assets, it's not always the worst thing you've ever seen. And sometimes they put quite a bit of effort into not putting a lot of effort into it. You know what I mean? Take Power Rangers SPD for example. The showrunner Greg Aronowitz wanted to do something different from the Super Sentai source material, and wanted to have a bunch of Rangers in the show, including an entire separate team of Rangers from our main team. But did they have the money from Disney for that? No. So they had to cut a couple of corners. They had to reuse assets to make this happen. They had a really cool idea that they wanted to see happen on screen.
No, the Okinawans did not have... They were never the longest living population.
So to do that, they had to reuse old in-space suits for helmets. I mean, these were, in terms of all the shows that had aired previously, the helmets that were most similar to the current SPD team and would make the most sense. And the best part about it, since I'm talking about it, is I have an actual real-life example of this. Not necessarily the A Squad, but this right here, I need to be careful with this. The SPD Orange Ranger helmet. This was basically the same idea as the A Squad, a repurposed in-space helmet for a new SPD Ranger.
How much of the gains will you get with 0.8 grams per pound, like 90% or something? I have no idea what the fuck you even mean by that question.
But they didn't reuse the entirety of the in-space suits. For the actual suit portion that wasn't the helmet, they made brand new ones. And with the A Squad, more specifically, they did something brand new with it. Made it seem more like military combat gear than just plain spandex. And for the Orange Ranger, they went the spandex route, but they modeled it very similar to our main team of SPD Rangers to make it fit and feel like a part of this universe. So Power Rangers can be cheap without being an absolute disgrace like the Dark Rangers. Look, I've seen I may or may not have stumbled upon an adult parody of Power Rangers that had better suits and helmets than that. But in all seriousness, today, this might have been the longest intro that I've ever done. We're talking about the cheapest moments and Power Rangers.
No, I don't think there's any good Power Ranger games. Pretty sure there wasn't a single good one.
History, and what's awesome is that this is a collab video. This is my first collab video on the channel, well, in recent years, with Filmform Studios, who does very similar content to me about Power Rangers. Thank you, Nate, for being on the channel. This was a lot of fun. He also has his own examples of Power Rangers being cheap, both in, you know, really bad.
How much of the maximum possible muscle gains will you get by eating 0.8 grams per pound? That question still makes absolutely no sense.
But somewhat good ways, and I don't really know how I'm going to splice in his footage with this, so some of it might not flow together, but we're both going to give different examples of about how Power Rangers has been cheap. So with that being said, let's get into more examples.
So yes, Power Rangers can be quite cheap, and for better or for worse, it definitely leaves a lot of weird grey areas. I mean, the first thing that I'd want to point out is Sky's father in Power Rangers SPD. Now, before Sky was a Ranger, when he was just a little boy, his dad was one of the first SPD Power Rangers, but his suit was the Time Force suit with just some SPD logos on it. For starters, I think this is quite...
How much vitamin D3 do you take per day? I'm taking 4,000 IUs per day. Are there a certain amount of people that wouldn't get optimal levels with 2,000, would require more, like 5,000? Well, yeah, if you're not absorbing it well. So, like, it's fine to take more. You're not gonna fucking die.
Quite cool. You know, reuse old suits, connect it up with the universe. It's quite cool. You can get headcanons that way, with people saying, okay, maybe the Time Force Rangers lent their powers, or there was a bit of, you know, maybe the Silver Guardians got involved and there was a bit of tech sharing, that type of stuff. I don't know. It doesn't help in the show's continuity when you've got fans, especially me as a little kid watching it, thinking, oh, okay, Sky is Wes's son, which obviously isn't the case. We know for a fact that isn't the case, but that's what I thought as a little kid, and I know that's what a lot of people still think now before they get told otherwise. And again, I do think it's really cool to have these sort of Easter eggs, but it definitely caused more confusion that it did any good, I think. And apparently, and I actually can't even remember where I heard this from, so don't quote me, but they were gonna use the Turbo Red suit initially. It might have even been the showrunner of SPD that said it, that they were originally gonna use the Turbo Red suit, which probably could have unwinded an entire other path of things that Sky was Tommy's son or TJ's son, but I think that would have been even more confusing and even weirder to link up the Turbo team with the SPD team. I mean, if anything, surely the in-space team would make more sense, because it's Space Patrol Delta, Andros is an astronaut. They even used the in-space helmets for the A Squad, so I don't know. I just feel like in-space would have made more sense. But either way,
I'm asking you if there's a benefit to eating more than 0.8 grams per pound of protein per day to gain muscle? Or will I get all my gains possible with that amount? Will eating 1 gram give me like 5% more? What's the practical amount to get 90% of gains?
I have no idea. Maybe you need more. Maybe you can get by with less. I have no idea. Everyone's different. Everyone grows at a different rate. Everybody absorbs food differently, so I have no fucking idea, dude. And you could have just asked me that to begin with. Thanks for the donation, though, CDG.
I think that's a middle ground. It's neither here or there. Another point of cheapness comes from the Turbo Power Rangers movie. Now, again, it depends how you look at it, but basically, 20th Century Fox funded that film, but a bit differently than they did the 1995 movie.
Yes, dietary fiber does reduce your serum cholesterol concentration, so upping your fiber intake will reduce your serum cholesterol generally.
Movie. With the 1995 movie, everything was new. They had the suits of armor, the command center was big, Alpha looked sick, but they couldn't use any of that in the show, basically. They had to revert.
Yeah, so having the most amount of centenarians is not the same thing as having the longest living average population. Those are two different things. And in all likelihood, the reason they have the most amount of centenarians is because they don't have the most amount of centenarians, and there's just a lot of people that are scamming the pension system.
Back to the spandex for the show. With this movie, they got to integrate it with the show, and because of that, Haim Saban kind of just let 20th Century Fox fund it for the movie and then took all the assets. You know, Alpha gets his upgraded look. Everybody considers the shiny blue-armed Alpha to be Alpha 6, but it was actually Alpha 5 for the first part of Turbo and the Turbo movie. The morphing sequence was made specifically for the movie, especially the 3D helmet latching around Tommy's head. That was then just taken, put in 4x3, and then put into the show, which is why when the second gen of Turbo Rangers show up, they don't get that fancy morph and they do it very quickly in one fell swoop because they just didn't have the budget, I suppose, or the time to remake.
I see. Well, Alex said he's been using 0.8 grams per pound and he's made gains on it for the past 2 years and he's elite in strength and muscle. So I guess I'll just try 0.8 grams. I tried 1 gram and it's been working good, but it feels excessive some days.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with trying things, dude. You can change your diet and training and all these different things and just see what works for you. Thanks for the donation, though, CDG.
That old morphing sequence. And of course, the biggest one out of them is Malago. They took Malago as a villain and just said, you know what? We're going to put him in Power Rangers in Space as well as a character called Dark Spectre. Now, I don't know if there's lore behind the fact that they're, like, related or they're part of the same species or something, but one is a rock monster fused from a volcano and the other is interdimensional space overlord. I don't know if they're related. And I feel like that's a bit lazier than the Time Force suit thing that I mentioned. Oh, but I suppose if you've got the assets, use them, right? I don't know.
You know, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers is just going to be a victim in this video because I need to put that back up. It was a really rushed together and just cheaply made show in general. I gave the Dark Ranger example because that was season 2. I mean, they didn't really have much of an excuse with the amount of money they were pulling in to not, like, have semi-decent suits. But in season 1, it looks pretty bad a lot of the time, but they actually, you know, have an excuse. Nobody knew if this show was gonna work. There was a lot of people behind the scenes believing that it was gonna tank. that it wasn't going to be successful, so it had a shoestring budget. Okay, there wasn't much going into this show. That is understandable. We can excuse that. So here's a season 1 example. You all know the dragon shield from the Green Ranger, possibly one of the, if not the most famous piece of armor for.
The reason I want to try is because I want to eat less protein powder and eat more whole foods, and it's easier to get 0.8 grams per pound from whole foods than 1 pound, and if the 0.8 grams works, then I'd rather just do that because it's easier and cheaper, lol.
Yeah, that's perfectly sensible. Thanks for the donation, CDG.
For any ranger in the entire show. But have you ever noticed that it doesn't always look the same? If you're watching this video, you probably know Power Rangers is an adaptation of Super Sentai, a Japanese show with the exact same premise. Power Rangers uses a lot of fight footage from Super Sentai spliced in with its own original footage. And usually what happens is that after Super Sentai is done, they ship over a lot of the suits and props used in that show for Power Rangers to use the very next year. Super Sentai was done, they sent over the Green Ranger stuff, including the Dragon Shield, and it was broken. Apparently, that's what I hear online. It's slightly debated, but for whatever reason, they didn't have the Dragon Shield from Super Sentai, the one that like looks really cool and actually looks like a piece of armor. They recreated it over here in the States, and it was just a piece of cloth. This looked ridiculous. This looked terrible. I mean, even as a kid, it was pretty glaring. And those damn bastards, they continued to use this in season 2 as well. I mean, take that Green No More example that I gave earlier. They still have the damn shield. They couldn't do any better. They had an excuse in season 1 with that shoestring budget that I mentioned earlier, but they continued to use it as long as a Green Ranger was a thing for American footage. It just looks terrible. Season 1, I would give a pass, but after that was pretty ridiculous.
This is a bit of a touchy subject for some people, but a point of cheapness within Power Rangers is actually the Cosmic Fury suits. Now, for starters, say what you want about them. I enjoy them. They're not the best suits, not the worst looking things ever. Highlights their colors perfectly, that's all you really need. I think the problem though is that it's the problem with Cosmic Fury in general. Netflix offered.
I'm taking 50 milligrams testosterone, 30 milligrams boldenone, and 5 IU's growth hormone per day.
20 episodes, Hasbro only wanted to fund and make 10, and vice versa. And the problem with the suits,
do a lot of women message you on Insta and OnlyFans? Insta, yes. OnlyFans, no.
is that the reason they wanted such basic designs for the suits is so that Hasbro could make cheaper toy molds and not have to put as much effort into the toys. Not only did they not make any action figures of the Cosmic Fury suits after that, but they made like one Cosmic Fury Zord, which was cheap as it is compared to the Q Ranger Zord. They made a Morpher, which again, quite cheap considering what Morphers have looked like in the past. And then they made like one Morphin Master Staff for Zato, and then one of Ollie's guns, which you can't really find anywhere as it is.
Speak for yourself, Nate. Sorry.
And that's a bit of a stab in the heart, because it's like, okay, from somebody who doesn't mind the suits, it's not the biggest issue, but for Hasbro to go, okay, we're making these designs simple so that the toys can be simple is a bit of a, kick in the teeth anyway. Then to not make any toys anyway and just to be left with these kind of lackluster suits, I suppose, it's a bit annoying, I've got to admit. Zaban is a bit of an awful guy.
So you're on 350 milligram tests per week now. Have you noticed a difference? Well, yeah. Just faster strength increases.
I expected better from Hasbro, if I'm being honest. Now, this next thing pisses me off, okay? The use of Zordon, or should I say the use of David Fielding. They brought David Fielding in for one day to film his head floating around, did a bunch of different emotions, and then if you notice in the show, his mouth is always kind of like distorted. It's just because they just reused the same footage. So he only physically shot one time. To my knowledge, at least, that's what David Fielding has said. And then for season 1 of Power Rangers, he came back to do the voice, and David Fielding is the voice of Zordon for season 1. We then move on to season 2, all the way up to Power Rangers in Space, and we get Robert Manahan, who has like a slightly more gravelly voice, but still, very, if anything, that's the most iconic Zordon voice, because that's the one we had for the longest. But it was still, for the longest time, David Fielding's head. So they had shot with David Fielding, only paid him once, had him record lines for the first season, and then just kept reusing his face without any royalties or anything like that. And that's just low. I remember when I said about the Turbo film, and I was like, I suppose use what you got. Not when you're taking somebody else's performance. Like, it makes you a bit speechless. Like, that's not cool.
My testosterone levels are 1360, but I'm natty. What is a high range on gear? It depends. You're only going to elevate your testosterone levels if you're taking testosterone. If you're taking Primo or Masteron or Boldenone or Anavar or Anadrol, none of that's going to increase your testosterone because it's not testosterone. So I've seen people with over 20,000 milligrams per deciliter from taking high doses of testosterone. Usually to get in that range, you have to be taking around like 5 grams per week, if not more, testosterone. My test levels were at 2,220 on 30 milligrams test sit per day.
That's not cool at all, and I think that is one of the worst situations in terms of the show being cheap, along with just underpaying their actors heavily in the earlier seasons. And the final point that I have is a bit of a tamer one, but it's still just quite annoying, and it's this entire season of Power Rangers Super Mega Force. For starters, the fact that they split Mega Force into 2 seasons with Goseiger and Gokaiger is wild. Very unrelated seasons, like Angels and Pirates, right? No relation. They didn't even try. There's no reference to them being pirates in the slightest. There's no reference to their fighting styles changing. There is no reference to the fact, I mean, listen, we saw the Rangers never before seen on this planet, and that was it. That was the only explanation we got given. We then have the entire legendary battle where we only see Power Rangers show up when it's like the American shot stuff, but then within the battle, we see Super Sentai Rangers, and there is zero explanation. I would much rather random episodes, instead of them going to find like the Wild Zord, so they only end up using like twice. I'd have much rather them focused an episode on a season we never saw, but instead they just kind of threw it in there. And especially within like the last, I think, 3 episodes, there's this fight, right? And I'll put these photos on screen. There's this shot from Super Sentai of these Rangers, and obviously none of these Rangers showed up in Power Rangers, so they thought, we'll reshoot it. They replaced the Red Ranger with Mighty Morphin Red, and then that's it. They left the other 4. Why? This is American shot footage. Why not replace them all? I hit my mic then. Why not replace them all? I don't understand. It was just such laziness. And I don't know how true it is, but I heard they spent a lot of money painting out the silver stripe in Tommy's helmet and replacing and taking out the Yellow Ranger skirt to make obviously it more accurate to the show. And then the Ranger cameos in the legendary battle that weren't really worth it because they didn't really do anything. I would have much rather money go into just better episodes and better representation of different seasons than the pointless final episode mega battle. I don't know. Anyway, those are my thoughts. That's just what I think are some of the cheaper points of Power Rangers. I'm sure there's many more.
Yeah, I don't know when I'm ever gonna watch this, but 12 hours. Maybe we'll reserve this for like a Christmas episode or something. Or Christmas stream.
From a long line of, well, actually not that long line of flagship V12 supercars, the Lamborghini Murcielago served in one of the most special roles in the automotive world. Destined to be a poster car icon and desired by millions, the pressure was on to keep the Lamborghini legend alive as the company moved into the new millennium. Following on from the much-loved but rather raw Diablo, the Murcielago...
The Murcielago is insane. Apparently, when you're sitting in the car, you're not sitting straight forward, you're actually angled a little to the side. It had something to do with how they placed like the transmission in the car to make it fit. and the pedal box is super fucking narrow. It's all these Italian cars, especially the older ones, are just fucking retarded.
Largo wasn't just Lamborghini planting.
How many grams of protein powder do you consume per day? I usually have 2 to 3 protein shakes. If I have just 2, it's usually just 100 grams of like the actual protein powder per shake. And if I have a third, it's less. I use 66 grams.
A flag in the 2000s, but was also, perhaps more importantly, the first new car developed by the firm after its acquisition by Audi in 1998. The hope was that Audi would at least provide some stability that Chrysler and Megatech, yes, that's actually a company that owned Lamborghini.
Breaking news: VG Trump is so dumb he uploaded private information.
Remember that urgent, almost frantic post Donald Trump made to his Attorney General Pam Bondi? The one he demanded that she prosecuted James Comey, a very long post. He's talking about how he read over 30 statements. He's saying this is the same story as last time. Look what they did to me, Pam. Look, this has to get done immediately. There's a great case. We cannot delay any longer. It's killing our reputation and credibility. Justice must be served, and on and on. So there was near instant speculation that post was not meant for public consumption. And now the Wall Street Journal is, well, confirming just that. The paper reporting Trump accidentally published that directive to his AG Bondi publicly, September 27th, 11:21 a.m. Eastern. He deleted it within 10 minutes, of course, not before it was captured in the eternal screenshots. And instead, the reporting is after she called the White House and complained and issued a help, stop. Pam Bondi's doing a great job, he posted a few minutes later. Great job as Attorney General of the United States. She's very careful, very smart, loves our country, but
I always looked forward to your Christmas streams. I leave a gathering and have your stream to tune into. Deck the halls with balls of holly. Please start movie streams again.
Can't watch movies on stream. They get copyrighted and I can get a strike. Thanks for the donation, Christmas. Streams I'm fond of. What if I just take testosterone by itself for now until I can find a reliable source of GH to go with it? Would it do nothing? Sorry if this was a dumb question. That is indeed a dumb question. Obviously, testosterone will work if you don't take growth hormone. So yeah, if you take a lot of steroids, you will feel like you're on steroids. Kid Boo donated $2, let me see. Okay, thanks for the donation, Kid Boo.
needs a top prosecutor in the Eastern District of Virginia, like my recommendation, Lindsay Halligan, to get things moving. So,
oh my god, this person's voice is so fucking irritating.
In the 90s, never could. But alongside the optimism was a lingering fear that German oversight would stifle the characteristic exuberance that defined the nameplate. The Murcielago, however, atomized the concern. mixed it with air, and promptly blew it up. It was as mad as ever. The original Murcielago boasted a 6.2 litre naturally aspirated.
Do you think you need 275 grams protein per day if people can get by on 0.8 grams? I don't fucking know, dude. Like, what do you fucking care? If I want to eat more protein, I'll eat more protein.
V12, pushing just over 570 horsepower to all four wheels, a little Audi influence creeping in there. But most Lamborghini of all was the looks. I mean, just look at it. It looks insane. I usually don't dwell much on the styling of cars because it's such a subjective thing, but the Murcielago deserves the discussion. And I want you to
Congratulations, you're banned. See you later.
join in the comments too. I think we can all agree.
I literally just said how much protein powder I consume. Are you consuming that much protein? Bye, you're banned. Don't need to listen to stupid shit.
At the very least, its looks have become iconic now. Certainly for anyone around my age, it's kind of the Lamborghini.
Kid Boo, donate $2. Let me see.
It's a cartoonishly large and bulbous, yet angularly menacing shape. Frankly, I've never thought it was a particularly pretty car, but it's one of those rare designs that achieves more by not being pretty. It's a car to be feared more than lusted after. Well, maybe they were hoping both. Beyond its chiseled jaw and vertical hawk eyes, the sharp edges melt away into a podgy, oddly proportioned backside that only works thanks to the badge. It's this aspect of the car that quickly exposes the DIY kits and conversions. I want to be clear that I like the way the Murcielago looks. It's a true automotive icon. But it is strange, isn't it? Its heavy-set appearance, however, was at least honest, as the Murcielago tipped the scale at over 1,800 kilograms in its original guise, more than a standard-spec Audi A6 of its time. And so naturally, they took it racing. From the president of Automobili Lamborghini, quote, "The presence of this new racing Lamborghini at international sports car events will be a perfect opportunity to showcase the competitive and performance advantages of the Murcielago." Sounds great. What could possibly go wrong? The first iteration of the Murcielago race car was unveiled at the Frankfurt Motor Show in 2003. It was a joint project between Audi Sport and Reiter Engineering. Audi Sport were crushing European endurance racing at this point in time, and despite the slightly unsuitable platform, a Lamborghini GT car would fit very neatly into VW Group's motorsport domination desires. Though much like other companies in the GT racing game, notably Ferrari, the Murcielago RGT, as it would be known, would be developed as a customer racing machine, meaning the company sells them to racing teams as opposed to racing the cars themselves. But for the Murcielago to be at all appropriate for GT class racing, it would need some changes. First and foremost, it needed to meet the requirements of the class, which meant ditching the all-wheel drive system and sending power exclusively to the rear wheels. The engine too would need fiddling with, requiring air restrictors to meet power rules. While the engine was fundamentally the same as in its road-going counterparts, the RGT would carry a smaller displacement of 6 litres as opposed to the 6.2 litres, and growing, of the road car. Beyond this, the car underwent the kinds of modifications you'd expect. New suspension, new aero parts, including a suitably huge rear wing, and as much weight shedding as was feasibly possible. So much weight was lost, in fact, that the car managed to achieve the FIA GT1 class limit of 1,100 kilograms and even retained its iconic doors. Despite a planned debut at Monza, the final round of the 2003 FIA GT Championship, the RGT would have to wait until round 2 of the 2004 season to actually hit the track in anger. Run by Reiter Engineering, Audi's partner firm in the RGT's development, Oliver Gavin and Peter Cox scored a podium on the car's debut before the team bowed out for the remainder of the season. French team Dams purchased 2 RGTs, which were entered from round 8 at Imola. This effort didn't see the immediate promise of the semi-factory Reiter team, with the number 26 car floundering at the back of the field, and the number 24 embarking on a series of gearbox destruction campaigns. Even when it was working, Dams weren't able to get a competitive single lap time out of the car, let alone a full race result. Across the Atlantic, the RGT contested a few rounds of the 2004 American Le Mans Series with Krone Barber Racing. On paper, the car's performance there may look like a big step up, but the truth is that the GTS Classic contested was pretty barren. Only 5 teams contested it, and Barber Racing came 4th.
Genova fried apple cider vinegar donated $2. Doesn't he look like Buck Tow Truck? Also, isn't Milo Wolf's voice attitude really annoying? He's a twink. No, he doesn't really look like Buck Tow Truck. Yeah, Milo Wolf is he's just a dork. Stupid dork. You know, these people really deserve everything they're getting. Like, again, if you're gonna, like, end up working with somebody like Mike and stick your neck out for him, like, you're an idiot. Thanks for the donation, Genova. Kid Boo donated $2. If this is a fart video, I'm not watching it. Is this person eating worms? Okay.
Team they beat only contested a single race. In addition to the RGT, a second Mercy GT car materialized in 2004 called the RG1, built specifically for the Japan Lamborghini Owners Club, or JLOG for short. It was designed to meet the specifications of the Super GT Championship, with cars initially entering the top GT500, later GT1 class, but also finding their way into the lower GT300 class as well by 2005. It would actually be one of these GT300 cars that scored the Mercy's first win in Japan at the 2006 Suzuka 300 km in the hands of Marco Apicella and Yasutaka Hinoi. Later the same year, a GT1 spec RG1 won its class at the Okayama 1000 km in the hands of Koji Yamanishi, Yasutaka Hinoi, and Hisashi Wada. Despite a long Super GT campaign comprising a total of 72 entries across 6 years, these two races were the Murcielago RG1's only class victories in the championship. The Mercy was a fun addition, but rarely ever a serious contender. The story was much the same in Europe, with the RGT failing to make any significant progress in the FIA GT Championship between 2005 and 2008, regularly landing Lamborghini at the bottom of the manufacturer's standings and Writer Engineering mid-pack at best, thanks mostly to teams simply contesting fewer rounds than them. The 2008 Le Mans...
Hopefully this can help you improve your sim technique.
I'll take a look. Thanks for the donation, Lada.
One driver steering into a fast corner, you'll notice something strange. Just before they turn into the corner, they actually turn away from it. Take a look at somewhere like Copse at Silverstone, a really fast right-hander. The driver will make a tiny steering input to the left, then immediately turn right into the corner. And it's not just one corner, or one driver. You'll see this in fast corners all over the calendar. It's a technique that pretty much every F1 driver uses. So why would you steer away from a corner before you turn into it? It does seem completely backwards. You're effectively making the lap longer, and you're pointing the car in the wrong direction, even if it's just for a fraction of a second. Now, if you've been watching this channel for a while, you'll know that I used to be a driver coach. That's actually why I started Driver 61 in the first place. And over the years, I've worked with hundreds of racing drivers, helping them get faster. And I've also driven more than 30 F1 cars myself, which means I've felt what this technique does to the car at different speeds with different setups. And I know how important it is. So, what's actually happening? Well, there are two parts of this. First, you're making the corner wider. You're using more track on the outside. And second, you're preloading the suspension and tyres gradually rather than hitting them with all the forces at once, which in turn gives you more grip. And both of these things matter for going through a corner as quickly as possible, and they actually have other benefits as well. To understand why, we need to look at the physics, starting with why a wider corner radius makes you faster in the first place. And this part is simple geometry. If you decrease the radius of a corner, make it tighter, you have to decrease your speed. That's just physics. The tighter the corner, the more lateral force you need to get around it, and the tyres only have so much grip available, which can be used for braking, turning or accelerating, or a blend of changing speed and direction. So by turning out slightly before you turn in, you're using more of the track. You're making the corner radius bigger, less tight. Now you might think that adding distance to the lap by going wider makes the driver slower. And yes, the distance is slightly longer, but the speed you can carry through the corner more than makes up for it. You're trading a tiny bit of extra distance for a much higher minimum corner speed. Of course, it's the same reason why racing drivers use the full width of the track. Enter on the outside, clip the apex on the inside, then back to the outside on exit. You're maximizing the radius, minimizing the lateral force required. So that's the geometric side of it. But the second part, the preloading of the suspension and tyres, is where it gets more interesting, because this is about managing how quickly those forces build up. First, let me show you exactly what happens with the steering wheel when you use this technique, compared to just turning in hard from a straight line. Let's say you need about 10 degrees of steering angle to get through a corner. If you
Is that like the same? I think maybe that's a little different. Yeah, I think I've got the Xbox version. He has the PC only version. Yeah, but I got the same steering wheel. I had to get the Xbox version of the steering wheel. Because the PC version or whatever, it had leather and not the Alcantara. Kid Boo donated $2. Let me see.
Pay for those.
I have a dream that one day these will be free of charge. Today is that day.
Wait, sir, you still need...
Alright, thanks for the donation, Kid Boo. Thee Than Thou donated $2. Let me see. Oh my god. Oh. I think that's a sleepy kitty. Oh my god, look at his little kitty toes. Oh wow. Oh. Oh my goodness. Oh, what a sweet boy. So sentient. I love Joey. Thanks for the donation, Thee Than Thou. Appreciate it.
you turn in hard from straight, you're spiking from 0 to 10 degrees in one quick motion. That's a really aggressive rate of change. And if you turn in at the same point but try and turn in more gradually, you'll miss the apex of the corner. But if you turn out first, you'll go a few degrees away from the corner, unwind back through 0, then progressively build up to 10 degrees. Because you're initially turning away from the corner, you can begin to turn into the corner a bit earlier. It's the same total angle, but it's spread over much more time with a lower rate of change. And that really matters, because when you spike the steering from straight to hard turn-in, you're creating a sudden load transfer spike that the suspension and tyres have to deal with all at once. But when you spread it out, you're giving the car time to respond. The load transfer builds up gradually instead of spiking. Now, to understand why that's important, we need to look at how tyres actually produce grip. When you turn into a corner, weight shifts from the inside wheels to the outside wheels. That's called load transfer, which you can feel in your road car as you go round a corner. But what's relevant here is that the tyres don't...
Could you please debate this biatch? She is stupid, it hurts.
Let's dive into this. Aspartame, what is...
I offered to debate her a while ago, and then she kept stalling and making up excuses, and then ended up refusing to do it, and she's a fucking idiot. Somebody asked me to react to that dumb video she uploaded. It's not worth my time. She just rambles incoherently. Thanks for the donation, Wolf D.
Don't produce grip in a linear way. If you double the vertical load on a tyre, how much it pushes down into the track, you don't get double the grip. You actually get less than double. So imagine you've got 1,000 arbitrary units of load on a tyre. It might give you a coefficient of friction of 1.8. So multiply that up and you get 1,800 units of grip. But if you put 2,000 units of load on the same tyre, the coefficient drops to something, for example, like 1.65. So you get 3,300 units of grip, not 3,600. And if you load the tyre up with 3,000 units, the coefficient drops even more, to let's say 1.5. So you're only getting 4,500 units of grip. Now, let's apply this to a corner. But before we get into that, I need to tell you about today's sponsor, Brilliant. When you're working in a world built on physics, data analysis and more units of load that needs to be distributed between two tyres on the same axle. When you corner, the weight shifts to the outside. You can't avoid load transfer, but you can control how extreme it is. With harsh, sudden steering inputs, you shock the suspension and create extreme load transfer. For example, the outside tyre might get 3,000 units of load, while the inside tyre only has 1,000 units. That's your 4,000 total, but very unevenly split. Now, 3,000 units of load with a coefficient of 1.5 gives you 4,500 units of grip, and the 1,000 units of load with a coefficient of 1.8 gives you 1,800 units of grip. So the total available is 6,300 units of grip. But with smooth, progressive inputs, you manage the load transfer more gently and get a higher coefficient of friction. Now the outside tyre has 2,500 units of load and the inside tyre has 1,500. It's still 4,000 units total, but more evenly split. So 2,500 units of load with a coefficient of 1.6 gives you 4,000 units of grip. And 1,500 units of load with a coefficient of 1.7 gives you 2,550 units of grip. So that makes the total 6,550 units of grip. That's about 4% more grip, just by managing how quickly and harshly the load transfers. But there's another element here that matters. When the car turns, the suspension has to roll over. The body leans to the outside, compressing the outside suspension and extending the inside. Depending on the car, the suspension needs somewhere between 50 and 100 milliseconds to fully settle and stabilize the vertical load on the tires. At 250 kilometers per hour, that's only about 3 to 7 meters of track. And if you're asking for the grip from the tyres before the suspension has finished settling, you're asking them to work before they're properly loaded. Now, modern Formula 1 cars make this time window even more important. As we know, they run really stiff suspension because they need to keep the car's ride height as consistent as possible for the aerodynamics. The floor has to be a specific distance from the ground to generate the maximum downforce, and this window is tiny, so therefore it has to have stiff suspension. But the car will still roll over, just not all that much. And it happens almost instantly, rather than progressively if the springing and roll bars were softer. And this is where a driver's feel is really important. I used to call this part of the turn-in phase the introduction. You're introducing the car into the corner. You're preparing it for the maximum lateral load. And the timing and harshness of the turn-in is really important. If you don't manage it properly, the car will feel unsettled. The suspension is still moving, still trying to stabilize, and you're already asking it to corner hard. And that's when you can get mistakes from a driver. Understeer, snap oversteer, or just an inconsistent entry. At best, the driver just won't feel confident. So the suspension needs some time to settle, but the tyres themselves also need time. Interestingly, a lot, perhaps most, of the ride height change at the front of an F1 car comes from the tyre squashing. So here's what happens. When you start to turn the steering wheel, the tyre needs to deform before it can generate the maximum lateral force. The most turning. The contact patch of the tyre, the bit where the rubber is actually touching the road, has to expand. The sidewall has to deflect, and that deformation actually creates more grip. As the tyre deforms, it creates what's called slip angle, the difference between where the wheel is pointing and where the tyre is actually travelling. And the tyre also acts like a spring. The more it deflects, the more force it generates pushing back against the road. Now, racing tyres generate maximum grip at a specific slip angle, and it's somewhere around 3 to 4 degrees from modern F1 tyres. Now, if you turn in gradually, turning out then progressively turning in, the contact patch has time to expand uniformly, and the slip angle builds up smoothly to that 3 to 4 degree sweet spot. The tyre is structurally ready to handle the load, and the driver will get maximum grip. But if you snap the steering wheel in suddenly, the contact patch can't expand fast enough. The load concentrates in just one part of the contact patch, usually the center or the shoulders. And those localized spots exceed their grip limit before the rest of the tyre is even working. You get micro sliding, the tyre skips past the optimal slip angle and you end up with less grip overall. And if you get it right, there's a temperature benefit here too, which has been talked about a lot in 2025. When you spike the load suddenly, you create thermal spikes, localized hot points in the contact patch where the rubber is working too hard. And that degrades the compound, accelerates wear, and makes the tyre less consistent over a stint. But if you load the tyre progressively, the heat spreads evenly across the contact patch. The rubber is more likely to stay in its optimal temperature window, you get better tyre.
You don't tell us ever watched Taxi French movies.
The man was being chased and was forced to hide in a parking lot. A taxi driver saw him.
Not watching AI slop. I don't know what those are. Thanks for the donation, Q.
Life and the performance stays consistent for longer. Now, there's a few common mistakes with this technique. The biggest one is timing. If you turn in too early, you'll compromise your ideal racing line. And if you do it too late, you've missed the window. You're already at the turning point, so you don't get the benefit of spreading the input over time. When you get it right, the car feels planted. And because you've approached the limit of grip smoothly, the car is easier to drive. You're leaning into the limit of grip rather than smashing through it, and the driver gets more feel. This means that the tyres load up smoothly, the car handles predictably, and you can get on the throttle earlier because you know the grip is there. Now, different drivers will use this technique in different ways. Some more pronounced, some more subtle, but the core concept is the same. You're managing the rate of load transfer to maximise grip. And this isn't just an F1 thing, you see it across all racing series. In fact, it's even more important in cars that have softer suspension. For example, GT cars and historic race cars, because they have more suspension travel and you need to give the suspension more time to settle before you demand grip. So that's why F1 drivers turn away from the corner before.
Alright. I'll be sure to use that technique. $2 donated new John Venus vid. Let me see.
Snow falling, late May. I'm in a very different stage of life than I used to be when I started this channel, when we started on this journey together. And I am now a father of 4, if we include the dog, and busy. Prioritizing things are very different from when I was 20 years old. And I'm sure a lot of you guys watching are in a similar stage of your life. You know that one of my core values is staying healthy so I can take care of my family.
This guy is such a dumb fuck. Dude, I can't get over like how he just threw away so many opportunities. When he visited Toronto and I met up with him, like, he was talking about making $100,000 a year just from his personal training clients alone, which is good fucking money. And now this idiot is working as a garbage man, and I think he also has to get kickbacks from the government to make ends meet. His, like, dumb bitch wife isn't even fucking working. And he keeps having more kids and being more broke for no reason. Like, he's such a fucking idiot.
So I can be mobile, do sports, play with my kids, and just enjoy myself without feeling like I'm in pain. Don't focus so much on the volume work and the gym work to the extent that I used to. I get in the workouts that I can, that I feel like is justified in terms of the priority list in my life. And it's pushed aside a little bit compared to other things that I need to get done. But it does body moving in one way or another, whether it's gym work, walking, hands, but we have to get our bodies moving as humans to operate. And that's kind of a passion of mine, because it's not as fun as it used to be. As that will help with your career as well. Push workout today, and that's what I'm doing, a push, pull. Sometimes if I'm not doing a lot of football and soccer, I'll do a leg workout as well. But right now, since there's so many football matches and trainings, I'm doing push-pull, and that's...
What's up, dude? How you doing? I just unhacked my laptop cause a virus locked me out. Thank vegan broccoli Jesus for YouTube videos that helped me. Pen and Gig hacked me. Fuck those guys. I wouldn't be friends with them if I were you. I heard they hate Jews. So sad.
Alright, well, glad you're able to use your laptop. Thanks for the donation, less is more. Yeah, I don't even know why he bothers uploading. 2.7k views 4 months ago. Like, I think he just needs attention occasionally. This guy's such a loser.
It's pretty much, I leave the legs for the running and the sprinting on the field. So, let's go. Into the trap of feeling a lack, feeling envious of other people for looking a certain way, for having a certain amount of wealth, for, you know, image stuff, moving our bodies with integrity, and...
What a dipshit. What a fucking dipshit. Thanks for the donation, less is more.
All series was a little better, with the Russian IBP Spartak racing team scoring 1 third-place finish and 2 second-place finishes at Spa and Silverstone, managing to beat one of the much more advanced Aston Martin.
How old is John? Does anybody know? 35, so he's 1 year older than me. Yeah. So, yeah, I think when you stop eating a healthy diet and start eating more meat and crap, stress yourself out by destroying your own business and having to work a shitty job as like a garbage man and having more kids than you can afford. Those things probably age you faster. Like, he's only 1 year older than me. I don't think I'm gonna age like, 10 years in 1 year. So he's looking a lot rougher than he was just a few years ago.
How long was your workout yesterday?
You mean the live stream I did? That was 3 hours. And I did 30 minutes of cardio after the workout. I didn't train today. My body was just in nope mode. I tried just starting with chin-ups and I just couldn't. So I took today off. I might do a deload if I keep having that problem. But hopefully with just an extra day off, I get back to normal. I did eat less yesterday. I just couldn't put down any food. And I've noticed on steroids, like, you really need to eat. If you don't eat, you'll feel it. Especially with how hard the training is. So I really have to make sure that I get in enough food each day. Thanks for the donation though, James.
Martin DBR9s and Corvette C6Rs on pure merit. But like the ALMS, LMS's GT1 grid wasn't very big, with only 3 teams contesting the full season. The RGT made some appearances at the 24 Hours of Le Mans too, but again failed to make a big impact, with its most notable incident being an accident in qualifying for the 2007 event. The crash was bad enough that J-Log, who were running the car, needed to borrow a new chassis from Dams for the race. Come race day, however, it took all of 2 laps for the car to nuke its gearbox, making it the race's first retirement. Not
Yeah, that's Audi engineering for you.
exactly one for the history books. 2009, however, was even worse for the J-Log Le Mans entry, qualifying last thanks to
What's the temperature for you right now? Today was, I think, 14 degrees. And I think it's gonna be around 14 to 18 for the next, week. We might have a few colder days where it's 12, but it's getting chilly. Mornings and evenings right now are around 0 degrees. It was 0 degrees this morning and there was frost everywhere. Kinda sucks. I really fucking hate the winter. Why are you taking Retta if you struggle with eating enough food? I'm taking a very low dose of Retta that doesn't affect my appetite. It helps to prevent hypoglycemia. That's why I'm taking it. I go hypoglycemic extremely easily.
After every monthly workout, I always take a week reload.
That is far too frequent for me. When I'm on strength training phases, I do deloads every 6 weeks. And with hypertrophy blocks, I just have reactive deloads, so I can go 3 or 4 months without having to take a deload week. Thanks for the donation though, James.
Mechanical trouble and retiring on lap 1. It literally cannot get worse than that. Well, I suppose they could have not made the start, but it's pretty bad. 2009 saw the RGT disappear from FIA GT, but IBP Spartak Racing continued to contest the Le Mans series and managed to achieve the unthinkable. They won a race! At the season's opening round in Catalonia, Peter Cox and Roman Rusinov finished in first place. Granted, it wasn't exactly a stacked field, only 4 cars contested the GT1 class in the event, but they still beat 2 Saleen S7Rs and a Corvette C6R. This marked the RGT's first and only race win in an international GT racing event. But despite the newfound success, it was clear that the RGT wasn't really advertising Lamborghini in the way they'd hoped, and with the car now being several years out of date anyway, the time had come for the beast to evolve. Reiter set about reworking a newer Murcielago LP674 to create their next generation GT racing machine. Now boasting a 6.5 litre V12, freshly reworked aero and suspension, and built to meet the FIA's new for 2010 GT1 rules, the LP670 RSV was built not just to keep Lambo on the grid, but to finally deliver the Murcielago some serious results. In the 2010 FIA GT1 World Championship, the RSV would be run by 2 teams with 2 cars each. Reiter would run cars 24 and 25, while longtime customer allinkle.com, Munich Motorsport, would run cars 37 and 38. FIA GT1 used a 2-race formula, a 1-hour qualifying race and a 1-hour championship race. The top 3 in the qualifying race scored championship points, and points extended to the top 10 finishers for the race proper. While neither team started the season particularly strongly, Reiter started picking up some podium spots here and there, eventually landing their first win in the race at Spa. It was quickly apparent that the RSV was a major upgrade on the old RGT. Reiter followed this up with a second win in Spain, and despite somewhat spotted performance outside of this, their podium haul and 2 race wins landed them 3rd in the team's championship come season end, though the manufacturers and drivers' standings were a little less rosy. Le Mans, however, sadly did not see such a significant improvement in 2010, with J-Log fielding a brand new car and managing 138 times more laps than they had done in 2009, but ultimately still succumbing to gearbox failure and ending up stamped with the dreaded DNF. Despite a strong first year, the RSV didn't have the longevity of its predecessor, quickly disappearing over the following couple of years as results in FIA GT1 slipped away through 2011.
What do you think if California planned to ban ultra-processed food? They can't really do that. All right. I'm gonna go to bed. But hope you all had fun. Big thanks to everybody who donated on Streamlabs. Really appreciate it. I was very tired today and had to do a lot of sleeping, which is why I ended up streaming later. But, Battlefield 6 comes out tomorrow. I might end up doing a big, like, Battlefield 6 stream tomorrow night. We'll see. But, thanks again, everybody. Should be on tomorrow regardless, so I'll see you then. And sweet dreams.